Hey everybody, today is Thursday, October 3rd, and you know what that means. Coffee with Kpro and Cow. So,
Coffee.
no music, no
No music.
intro, we're just going to get right into content because we got a lot of things to talk about. Let's
Too
make
much.
sure we went live, which we did.
Yep. Wayne
How are
Ross
you,
says
Kpro?
hi. I am fabulous. I am fabulous because I have my coffee.
Nice.
Make sure mine is nope. See, mine wasn't down. You're gonna hear a little bit there. No, I'm good. I I've had a week though. I'm ready for a nice long weekend, and I'm meeting up with some searchers on Saturday.
Oh, is
So
that
I'm
this
sorry.
Saturday? I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
this Saturday.
it's this
Oh,
Saturday.
cool. Okay.
You're not
Nice. You have to
down.
keep
I'm
me
sorry.
apprised. I didn't realize
Oh,
it was this Saturday at all.
if I can figure out how to go live, well, there's no Wi-Fi where we're at. So if someone can figure out how to go live, we're so going live. Oh,
Make that one little change. Okay, yeah, let me know, and I'll definitely watch.
yes.
All right, everybody. So we titled this vlog "Forrest Fenn Reveals the Clues" because, in an indirect way, he did, in
Dun,
our
dun,
opinion. So
dun.
we're gonna go over that. But do we want to do any announcements or anything first? Or we can do that at the end of
We
the show.
have several. No, yeah, we can talk more about it at the end of the show, but
Yeah.
I want hit two or three things as everybody's filing into the room, and I will comment to something else that's been put out there that everybody's commenting about because I've gotten tons of questions about the secret society thing. Uh
What?
oh. Okay. Okay. Jimmy Bass is saying he cannot hear me. Is
Yeah,
that
I think that's a
true?
joke.
Oh,
He can hear
Jimmy
you.
Bass, he gets me every time. Just like when someone says they found the treasure chest and I email Forrest.
Coy is in the house. I hope everybody watched Expedition Unknown. Yeah, Expedition Unknown last night on The Secret. Coy was there. Dustin and Deidre, not Deirdre. Dustin and Deidre were there, and good job, Coy. I was
Yeah,
hoping you guys would find something, but yeah,
and did you see that Dustin and Deidre went live about an hour ago and they read
twice.
your
Yeah, they
email?
went live. Oh no, I didn't see they read my email. Did
Yeah, like are they going to go to Forrest Fenn? And they're like, Mike and Kpro have this down, so they're
they?
going to probably go on to the Beacon Star,
The
or
Beacon Star is a good one. Yeah.
there was one other one that starts with an O. Oh, Odyssey, but I don't
Who
know.
knows?
They're like that's kind of what we're doing. So,
Could be the
Koi,
Oracle. Okay.
remember us? Yes, that was it. Oracle.
Yeah.
Remember us, little people. Now that you're famous, so yeah, they were on Expedition Unknown, and it was awesome. Okay, so
Okay. What else we got going on before we get into the
okay,
clues of Forrest
so
Fenn's
Searcher
poem?
Meetup is on Saturday, 2 o'clock. Red Robin, Carrie on Walnut Street. Um, some people are like, I'm not going to give away a lot of hints or clues. I'll be the one with the TTOTC, and just come and have some fun. Um, I wanted to just give, we're going to do this for 3 minutes, and then we have a huge show tonight. I have a full presentation, and Mike and I already know we disagree. So how do you like that? So
So
Mike
this
and I, you're going to see kind of an open discussion slash conflict, and you're going to see basically how we fight in our private lives.
so if you guys don't know, if anybody out there doesn't know, Forrest confirmed what the last clue is. So we know what the first clue is, and we know what the last clue is. So in between is where the 9 clues lay. The other 7 clues lay. So Kpro's going to
Oh,
come up with what her 9 clues are, and I'm going to show you what my 9 clues are. Maybe they're the same because we have not actually seen what each other's clues are. So it should be
yes.
interesting.
Yeah, well, and then it even gets funnier because I will say I brought up last night in AGK's chat that I think it's what's the ninth clue, and people were like, he did not say that. Right, this will be our interpretation in our
Right.
opinion, and we
But
are no one because we do not have the treasure chest, but we are logically thinking
we'll
treasure
show you.
hunters.
Yeah, we will
Yes.
walk you through the logic so that you will know once and for all what the 9 clues are, apparently, or close
Yeah.
enough to it that where you're going to be ready for a boots on the ground.
Yeah, and then we're gonna. So I say we say afterwards because we have a big enough room here tonight. Let's go to all of the contests and everything from the marathon. Any other comments? And I will comment about AGK. Many people would like me to. I will comment on it, and Mike can comment on it too if he wants to. We'll talk about all that after. Let's dive into hard hitting content because that's what we do here on the Cow Channel.
Okay, so for any of you who don't know, but it's on Dale's blog, so everybody should know, there was some audio that was released where Forrest Fenn said what Terry Scant means, and where Forrest Fenn confirmed what the last clue was. Now, I can play it if you think we should play it.
Um, I don't think we need to because we have so
Okay.
much to cover. But basically, let me give you the summary. The reporter says, "What is Terry Scant?" And he's like, "That means get the hell out of there. You have the treasure chest. Get the hell out of there." I love that.
It's
I
that
don't know if he
simple.
said how.
The
He
poem's
might have said
literal,
heck.
people. It's a lot simpler and
That
littler,
part,
literally than people think.
yes. Yes. And then he also put out another set of audios, full 28 minutes. If you go to the third one, because they divided it up,
Yeah.
and thank you, Dal, for dividing it up so we can go back and listen to it when we can. The third one talks about the actual poem. Um, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So when I reference that, that is what we're talking about. Make sure to go to Dale's site. We also
Everybody's
have had
saying play it. Let me play it. It's only a couple
playing
seconds.
it,
Yeah.
playing it, playing.
Sassafras, I agree with you. Okay, somebody said, look quickly down's not the last clue. You're right. It's not the last clue. All right, here we go. It's real quick. Hopefully you guys can hear it. You won't be able to hear it, Kpro, but listen.
What do you want to give people? It's possible that this treasure may not be found yet. It may be found 50 years from now. We may not be around.
Well, the Rosetta Stone was buried 2,000 years before it was found. It's possible the treasure chest could be found this afternoon, or it could be 100 years or 500 years. Who knows? It's not predictable. It's not in a dangerous place, and it's hard to find, deliberately hard to find, but it certainly isn't impossible. You have to go back to the poem. If you have to find out where the first clue is, where warm waters halt. That's the first clue. And then take it from there. The clues are chronological after that. One leads to another, leads to another. And when you get to the ninth clue, look down, because you're where the treasure chest is.
And that's it. It's really just that simple. When you get to the ninth clue, look down, because that's where the treasure chest is.
Ooh,
So what is the ninth clue?
Later.
Well, in the poem, it tells you when to look down, and that's what we're going to go over. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So, okay. So I decided to put a presentation together. And I will say there's a part that it's not exactly right yet.
Bring it up right now.
Yeah, if you will. Mike, I just sent this to, we walked through, just here's going to be my logic. Mike's going to disagree. I disagree with myself at one point. I don't have it fully worked out yet. So I want to walk through this because I think it's important just to show someone's logic. And I'm going to put up front, the person might be wrong. The person could totally be wrong. The person's me. This is my opinion. I didn't get a super secret hint from Forrest. It's going to have, this is now some, the one thing Forrest has said is searchers need to be able to adjust. Maybe he's been hammering it to us, like Sassafras says, like, this isn't groundbreaking. This is what I thought all along. None of us have the treasure chest. This has helped me to adjust a little bit. Mike has said, when you're at the blaze, look down, there it is. And I'm like, no, there's so much more to it. I now have adjusted.
Look quickly down is not the ninth clue. That's correct. In my opinion, it's not either, but we're going to talk about that.
Correct.
But I will say, make sure you thumbs up the video for going over the clues, for actually having real content, and super chats on. If you have a question, you just absolutely have to get answered, or you just want to say thanks to us for doing the vlog. Okay, go ahead, Kpro. Yep. This is Kpro's presentation. After hers, we'll do mine. Go ahead.
Yeah, and at any time we might have a special guest that is going to break in, because there's been some Forrest Fenn words that have been put out today, and they've only been put out outside of Dale's and Jenny's, and this person may have some information on that. So, so right now we might break away from this very quickly, and then we'll get back to this. Okay. So here is the little known poem. We all know this. It's here. I just wanted to start this in case we need to go back to it. This
166 words. Okay.
166.
And then now we get into the context that we know about now.
Yes. So some things have been recent that we just talked about. Some things are not. So we know that he has said many, many, many times, the first clue is where warm waters halt. So there's the first piece.
If you don't believe that, just stay home and play Chase-opoly, because you got
There's
no
a lot of people that don't, though.
And they have no chance. So you do. If you just want a vacation, then go ahead. Sorry, I'm just going to tell you like it is in this video, everybody.
I can tell you all day, Mike has been in a little bit of a mood. And so this is going to be interesting, because Mike is usually the easygoing one. And it's going to be a fun night, y'all. Oh, and I just wanted to thank him. If you can't see right here, I have a very beautiful set of flowers that arrived at my house. And yeah, okay, you rock, Mike.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Forrest has said before, at the blaze you look down and the treasure chest is there. Now he has said, at the ninth clue, look down, the treasure chest is there.
Well, hang on.
If
You just said he said that when you look at the blaze, look down.
yes, he said if you're at
Okay.
the blaze, you can look it up on Terry Scan. He said if you're
Yeah.
at the
No, you're
blaze,
right.
you're at the
You're
treasure
right.
chest. Yes.
Yeah.
And we can all go up, look exact quotes. These are just summaries in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, people are liking feisty Mike. Ooh. So at the 9th clue, look quickly down or look down, and the treasure chest is there. So if he has said two different things about, and he's used blaze and 9th clue, wouldn't that mean the blaze is the 9th clue?
The blaze is in fact the 9th clue. If you don't believe it, you're wrong.
We've said it. We've said it. It just makes it so now.
But
it is 100% so.
If you follow that logic that where warm water salt's the first clue and the blaze is the 9th clue, right in between here are the other 7, and that's the trick.
Right. No, we'll
figure
get there.
Okay,
we'll
go
get
ahead.
there. We'll get there. So the last thing is just setting the stage of why we're talking about this now. Why is it relevant now? He's also said Terry Scan meets get the hell out of there. So things that are references like idioms and things like that, we need to take literal. We don't need to take as an exact spot. Okay. So next.
Okay.
So just like Mike was saying, take the things in red, and Mike did this before and I cringed and I had a hard time with it, but I'm okay saying Mike was right. We need to just focus on these lines. Begin at where warm waters halt, and then you're looking quickly down and your quest ceases. You have the treasure chest at that point. You're getting the heck out of Dodge, or what did he say? Get the hell out of there. You're getting the hell out of there by Terry Scan. Okay? Okay. So we're all good.
Next.
Yes.
Okay.
Boom. Yes.
This
Boom.
is these are not that the rest of the poem isn't important. I'll just give you my opinion real quick.
For legal reasons.
The entire poem is important. But if you're talking about where to start, this is where you start. If you're talking about where you end, this is where you end. And in between are the actual waypoints or directions on how to find his treasure chest. Okay? These are where the 9 clues are. Now, you didn't include the end of the stanza 5? 4 right here. But that's fine. But we'll talk about that when we do my presentation. But yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So this is what we're going to look at. These 2.5 stanzas. That's it. That's all we're going to look at, because that's what he said. Where warm waters halt, by the blaze, you're looking down, you're picking it up. Everything else are not where the 9 are happening. We're going to talk about where he says contiguous, chronological, all that in a second. But let's get to the first set of. Okay, so we agree on 9, and I'm sure the entire room. And if you don't put at Kpro or Super Chat, I'm not going to be able to see it. But this is, again, just my opinion. So first we need to agree on which are the ones that we just flat out agree on. Like if you don't agree that WWWH is a clue,
and the first clue.
And the first clue. Well, yeah, and the first clue, but at least a clue. I would be challenging that. So I think we can all agree that warm waters halt.
And I would say you're absolutely wrong. Go.
Okay, because you're on me tonight, and I love feisty Mike. Feisty Mike's out to play. So the second is the canyon. And I'm going to put a few things that I have as information. I'm just going to put it all out there. The one time that I told, when Forrest asked me at Nez Perce where my WWWH was, and then if I could tip my toe in it, if that audio ever comes out again. The rest of that was, well, where's your canyon? And I'm like, there isn't a canyon. That's the second battle is where there's a canyon. And he's like, no, I said contiguous. Where warm waters halt, canyon.
And canyon.
And I'm like, oh.
So does that mean where warm waters halt, there's a canyon right there? They connect.
Yes. He said contiguous. Do you know what that means, Mr. PhD? And we had a little banter about it. But yeah, so where warm waters halt, there's a canyon.
So everybody, if you're where warm waters halt is not water, it's wrong. If you're where warm waters halt is not warm water, it's wrong. If you're where warm waters halt is water and it's warm, but it doesn't have a canyon, it's wrong. Now I know people are going to get mad.
But we're not.
I will just say this disclaimer. I know people are going to email me and say, how can you tell me my solve's wrong? You can have whatever solve you want. I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion. I'm just trying to say, if you're serious about finding the treasure chest, this is what he said. We're going off of things that Forrest has said. So why people don't listen to him when he says things, I don't know. But tonight's show is going to be about what he said and what we think it means. So go ahead.
Okay, and once I get through this, we'll stop for a second because people are wanting to get my attention, and I will hold on for a second.
And you also need to say something else about where warm waters halt that you've never said before, about what state it could be in.
Okay, let's do that at the end.
Oh, yes, all right. You guys want to stick around then? Okay, go ahead.
No, let's do that at the end of the presentation where I get into WWWH and what I know about it, and what I know about Canyon and each of those.
Okay.
You're getting way ahead of ourselves. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to write that down, and I will get.
Oh, I'll remind you. Don't worry.
Wow, Mike.
Because it's important for a lot of searchers. So.
Right, yeah. But we're just blowing up the Fenn Nation universe.
That's right.
Huh?
Well, that's why people tune in. They want to hear this stuff. They want to hear it. We're going to tell it tonight. It's worth the price of admission, which is free, by the way. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So, WWWH Canyon. He's talked a lot about Homer Brown. There's many quotes out there. We'll talk about those in a minute. And then the Blaze. Those are the 4 that he has actually referenced in different words and things and interviews that he said. So that means those 4, in my opinion, are the 4 of the 9 clues. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you can't say one presenter, please.
2,
this is like point,
3.
counterpoint.
Oh, you're saying the Blaze. So you're saying confirm these are 4 of the 9 clues. Correct. Got it. And I agree with you. Okay. If anybody disagrees, you're wrong. Okay. Let's go.
Oh, good.
I'm just having fun, guys. Although it's true, you are wrong if you disagree with that. Go ahead.
Good. Okay. So now we need to rule out some things. So we still have so the green letters are the green letters are clues, and we 4 of them. So now let's start ruling out some things, much like Terry Scant. Terry Scant means get the hell out of there. Well, what other idioms, what other analogies is he making? Oh, wow. Okay, guys, I cannot do messages right now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she's kind of busy, guys, doing a presentation. But, yeah.
Okay, actually, thank you.
Unless it's Forrest. Shut it down. And then we have internet problems again. Sorry, everybody. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so then we're going to look at what can we rule out. So I'm going to rule out, because Forrest is keeping it simple for us. Like if we were to say to him, what does Terry Scant mean? If his answer is, get the hell out of there. The end is ever drawing nigh. What does he mean? It means it's coming to an end. If you've been wise, that means, have you been smart enough to get to the Blaze?
Right.
It's not a clue. So I've taken all the idioms or all the places that I don't think the 9 clues are. Not far, but too far to walk. He's just talking about walking. The end is ever drawing nigh. If you've been wise and look quickly down, your quest will cease. I think that is an action, but it is not 9 locations.
Okay.
Okay.
Now that's subjective, meaning it's possible, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, and you might not agree, and most of the room doesn't.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm just giving you my logic. I'm not like Mike. I'm not telling you you're wrong. You're telling me I'm wrong. Well, all of you don't have the treasure chest. It's just fine. But
Okay.
I'm adjusting. Okay. So that means that's what we have here. So what does that
what's
leave?
left? Right. Where are the rest of the clues, Kpro?
Meek, creek, heavy loads, water high.
So you think those are 4 clues?
Yes. Based on the nouns that we have left, that gives us 8. Now I'm going to talk about the 9th in a second, and I actually am the least confident about this part, but I'm pretty darn confident, and I'm going to talk about all the things Forrest has said about all of these. Okay, so there's my 8 so far.
So you have 8. What about the 9? Okay, yeah. Isn't that only 8? That's right. You've got 8. What about the 9?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Let's stop for a second. Does anybody in the room want to go back to any of the logic, if you think it's logical, or non-logic that I have presented so far?
Well, a lot of people think some of the parts in yellow are a clue, and that's fine because we don't know. That's fine.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because we don't know.
Right. A lot of people think Terry Scant is a clue.
Now, Lou Lee just asked, are you going boots on the ground next week, like you had alluded to before?
Okay, I'm going to be honest here. Cynthia is up there. She went boots on the ground today. She was supposed to give me the lowdown of the weather. The weather is actually fine, but I have to be on a dirt road. She actually was on a dirt road and had some issues. She's doing a video on it tonight.
Is there
snow
snow on the ground?
There's not snow on the ground, but it is muddy as muddy as muddy. And you know how she does with
mud. That's right.
Yes.
Can you say what state she's in for people who don't know?
She's up north. I don't know if she's in Montana or Wyoming. She's in I don't know, Montana or Wyoming.
Okay.
I'm going to be over in the Wyoming area, so my area is actually going to be a little worse than hers. She said, once you see the video, you will be able to decide very quickly. And I said, okay, which means to me, probably not. But we'll we will see. If not, I'm getting on a plane on Tuesday, going to spend 2 days, and then I'm heading to Vegas, y'all, by Thursday. But we will see. So I
you
will know in
don't
a couple days.
know yet. You don't know yet if you're going to go boots on the ground, but you might. Is that what I heard?
I might.
Okay.
I might. Yes.
Right. She doesn't know yet.
And
Okay.
yeah, Holy says,
Right.
mud makes you girls giggle. It makes Cynthia stress, and it made me have the worst giggle situation that I've had in a long time. Okay, Kpro, this hypothesis is based on the 9th clue, looking down, the same analogy as the blaze line in the stanzas. Wow,
what are you talking about, William?
I don't know what that means, but
here's something that he just made me think of. Since Forrest has said, when you find the blaze, you look down, and that's where the chest is. That means the blaze is not on the ground. The blaze is, let's say there's a paving stone, and you know what I mean? He could have carved something in a stone. As you're walking on the last area, you see it. It means that the blaze is up in the air somehow. It's on a creek wall, a canyon wall. It's hanging in a tree. It's on a tree. It's up in the air somehow. It's not on the ground. You disagree?
Maybe. Well, it could be at the end of not a cliff, but like a ledge or something. So the look quickly down is down below the ledge. But let's go into, because I've actually pulled what he has said on a lot of these clues in the end part of my presentation.
So these are your 8 clues. Where Warm Waters Halt,
8 clues.
Canyon, Homer Brown, and these are out of order, obviously. The Blaze, Meek Creek, Heavy Lows, Water High. But what about the 9th?
The 9th, here's what I came up with, but I don't like it, because he says if you're at the 9th clue, you're at the treasure chest, look down. So I said maybe the final clue is look down, but he's already said the 9th is the blaze. So mine's not exactly right. I came up with this over the last couple of days. It's still churning in the head. So I'm throwing it out that these are, so maybe if you have one that I put in yellow, maybe that's the one, but the rest of them, maybe we agree, maybe we don't. So that's the piece that I'm the least confident about.
And I disagree a little bit, so I'll tell you mine when we get to mine. Okay.
Okay, keep going.
All right.
So there you have it. Everything underlined is the 9 clues.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So somewhere in there's another clue. We just have to figure out what it is, right?
Oh, and Scott Conway says it's put in. Oh, put in.
And somebody else mentioned that put in below. You can't just say Homer Brown. You have to say put in below the Homer Brown. Somebody said put in is an inaugural part of the clue of Homer Brown.
Right.
Now,
I like
that's
that.
true. Maybe that is, that's possible.
And look what Sassafras says.
Scott
Thank you. Yes, Scott. It's heavy loads and water high,
and
not heavy loads then water high. So those are not 2 different clues.
I agree with that. I think they're one clue. Yeah.
I disagree because of river bathing is best. Not river bathing is best. There's a Bozeman article that talks about heavy loads that his mother had and water's high about Skippy dying. Those, I think, are 2 different things. But I'll go into that another time. I don't think we'll have time tonight. Okay. So what else has he said now? Well, the first thing he has said is he's always said contiguous. So sharing a common border. So the 3 bullets on the right are just definitions of these words. So sharing a common border or touching.
So when that just made me think of something. So each of these 9 clues are touching each other. You walk from one to the next, correct? Okay,
yes.
So what about the too far to walk? Does that mean we don't drive to the next, maybe? Well, I guess it could still be touching. It's just we have to drive to the edge. So, okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
All right.
Or I don't have a strong opinion yet.
Okay.
So he has now said chronological and consecutive. So we're following it continuously. We're starting with the earliest and following the order in which they occur.
Yeah,
so
they're in order. You cannot jump around. They're in order.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so I believe based on that, we're looking for 9 specific locations. The 9 clues, and this is the difference between the hints and clues, the 9 clues are 9 locations in chronological order, and they are found, 8 of them are found here. I'm still kind of iffy on what the 9th one is.
Okay, and I kind of agree with that. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
9 touching locations. All right, what do we know?
Okay, and I will go into that, Juno. Why the rest of the poem? I actually think it's the trove. All of that is legalese and legal reasons. There is a reason for every word in his poem. Okay, so let me keep going here. So now let's go back to what has he publicly said. And I use Terry Scant. So if you are a new searcher, and we're going to do resources for new searchers, go to terryscant.com, and which means get the hell out of there.com, and you can see. You can put in a keyword. So Forrest has said, and you can look up the full definition or the full quotes, but WWWH, he said it's the starting point It's the first clue. You can't get there without the others, or can't get to others without the correct WWWH. And then the one that is in Cynthia's book, Scott Conway was told, and myself, it's warm, it's water, and you can dip your toe in it. Okay, Scott Conway says heavy loads plural, aka boats, water, high, Elvado. See, he thinks Elvado, which is absolutely, that is water and that is warm. And he sent Forrest a picture with his toe in it. So, okay, so that's WWWH. Canyon, all I can say is I think it's connected because of what Forrest said to me about, then where's your canyon? And I'm like, oh, it's the next battle of Nez Perce, where they had the battle in the canyon. And he's like, but that's in a whole different spot than your WWWH. And then he rolled his eyes. Now, he could have been playing me or working me or whatever. This is just what I believe. Homa Brown, he has said it is not a structure. He has several quotes about that, right? Or
Homa
no,
Brown,
that came out of
yeah,
that was out of Cynthia's book and what he said to that other reporter.
He said it's
so
not
according
a
to Cynthia.
Right. Now, what about brown trout? Do we want to go down that road or no? Has he said anything about brown trout? Okay.
I don't want to go down. I have a person that has heard something, but they don't want to get involved.
And then somebody wants to make sure you addressed, when did he say the blaze is the 9th clue? So we'll get to that part, right?
Yeah, he didn't say that. What he said was...
You said that earlier, that he did say that. That's why they were asking.
Okay, well, let me correct. If I said that, I didn't mean that. What he has said is, at the blaze, you look down. And if you're at the blaze, you are right at the treasure chest, you look down. Right. And now he has said the 9th clue, you look down and the treasure chest is there. He has said the same thing about two different things, which is blaze and 9th clue. So that makes the blaze the 9th clue.
When did he say the 9th clue part? The 9th clue part?
In the audio put out 2 days ago or yesterday.
Well, he never said 9th. I think the sticking point is people are like, he never said 9th. He said, when you're at the blaze, you look down and that's where the treasure chest is. He didn't say anything about 9th clue, right?
Help me out, room.
Well, we can play it.
99.9.
Well, yeah,
well,
I just played it.
Third audio.
Yeah.
You played the third audio?
Yeah. Oh, part of it. I didn't play all of it. What he said was, when you're at the blaze, you look down and that's where the treasure chest is. He didn't. The word not 9 or 9th never came out of his mouth that I remember. Somebody correct me if we're wrong. He said last clue. He said last
Steve
clue.
says he said last clue. 23 Monarca said he said 9th.
Well, we're going to play it right now. Hang on. All right, listen. All right, I'm playing it right now, Kpro. Here we go, everybody. Listen up.
Fine, but it certainly isn't impossible. You have to go back to the poem. If you have to find out where the first clue is, where warm waters halt. That's the first clue, and then take it from there. The clues are chronological. After that, one leads to another, and when you get to the 9th clue, look down because you're where the treasure chest is.
You are correct, Kpro. He said when you get to the 9th clue, look down because that's where the treasure chest is. He said 9th. Now, William's trying to say, but he never said blaze in this audio. That's right. He said 9th clue. But
right. He said blaze before. He said if you are at the blaze, you will be looking down and I looked it up today on Terry Scan.
I'm going to find it. Keep going and I'll find it.
Okay, put in the word blaze and you will see the quote. It's like someone said, are you able to see the treasure chest from the blaze? And he said, or how far is it from there? And he said, I didn't take a measurement, but if you're at the blaze, you will know that answer. You're right there.
Okay, this is the question. This is from Terry Scant. How far is the chest located from the blaze? Casey, I did not take the measurement, but logic tells me that if you don't know where the blaze is, it really doesn't matter. If you can find the blaze, though, the answer to your question will be obvious. And what is the answer to the question? What was the question? How far is the chest from the blaze? And he says, if you can find the blaze, the question is obvious. So Kpro is correct. We're putting together things he said at different times to say the blaze, if you find the blaze, it's obvious you can see the chest. He just said in this audio, the 9th clue, you look down and you'll see the chest. You will be in the place where the chest is. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
And
so I agree with you, Kpro.
I actually agree with Sassafras. It says he says it because he doesn't want to give away how the chest is concealed. And that is William's point of that I think is so important. Steve brings up a phenomenal point, and I have thought about this, but I actually think it's more simple. Go back up to the chronological, that one.
Right here.
Isn't the chronological a timeline? Yes, it could be. And I think the timeline is You first have to go to WWWH, and then maybe 2 minutes later you're at the canyon, and then 2 minutes later you're at Homa Brown, and 4 minutes later you're at Meek, and et cetera, et cetera. I think that's the chronological sum. And I thought about this. Does that mean the WWWH was when he was 13, and then the canyon was when he visited at? I don't think that. I don't think there's a chronological to his life or something else, unless I could hear something based on that. This is just, again, just my thoughts. Okay, so keep going down.
Did you do the WWH part? Canyon not connected is connected. Homa Brown is not a structure. Okay.
Right.
Now, what do we know about the other ones?
I put those in. I can't find anything on Meek. I can't find anything on Creek. I can't find anything. Did you catch part 1 that he said you have to work for it? If you work for it. I do. I remember it.
Yeah. But what does that mean? I mean, yeah.
I don't think it relates to the poem specifically. I think he's just saying in general. He talks about, and actually I've had this discussion with him back before, not recently, about people that just go to work and like get their, go and do their work.
They get a pizza on the way home, and
Exactly.
He described me right there. That's not good. So yeah.
Well, so you have to find the
But that's why we're on YouTube. We're living vicariously through YouTube and Forrest Fenn's treasure hunts. Okay, keep going.
Yes, and the poker room. Okay, so then you have Meek and Creek and Heavy Lows that he hasn't said anything. He did say he was going through different parts of the poem with a reporter, and he said, think about water's high. How deep is that? Or how high is it? Or is that normal? What is that? So he has referenced water's high. So that's why I do believe, and I'm pretty confident, that water's high then is a clue. Even though it's in one of my not absolutely confirmed, I'm putting that in that category. Scott Conway, super chat again. Thank you. Means you have to dig under the blaze. Scott Conway, you're going to get in trouble with me, mister. You can't dig until you get the okay.
Well, Scott, I will agree it could mean that. It's a possibility. We don't know.
Yeah.
I hope that when you but the other thing is Forrest said in that quote that I read, if you find the right blaze, it'll be obvious. If it's buried, it's not obvious how close the treasure chest is to the blaze if you can't see it. So to me, that means when you see the blaze, you can see the treasure chest. It's obvious. To me, that means not buried.
Yeah.
But that's me.
I lean more towards not buried. But why wouldn't he want to say it then? Because then it could be buried over time. That could be the reason. Okay, keep going. Okay, here is the reason that I think, and I've done it, where I'm like, Forrest, I think I found the blaze. And he's like, cut it out with the blaze. And here's the reason. Oh my gosh, people have been asking him about this darn blaze he has talked about what is the blaze. It's anything that stands out. It's a single object. You can find the blaze in the day without a flashlight, but you can't start at the blaze. You can't figure out the right blaze without the right WWWH. It's not impossible to move the blaze, but it's not feasible. He's certain the blaze is still out there. It could be a mark on a horse, a scrape on a tree, a flame, a scar on the rock. Look down from it, the treasure chest there. Here's the one that I guess I never really, until I did this. There are 10 billion blazes out there. I don't think it's unique. I thought it was Tuff Cliff because it is the only exposed Holocene in the Yellowstone area. Well, there's not 10 billion of those. Now, hold on a second. Scott Conway, thank you again for the super chat. It was quite obvious what you had to do. Okay, I could see. Okay, I can see what Scott's. That's what he needs to do next for the final. Yeah.
And my take on it is, I don't know if you have it in the list, but he said a blaze is anything that stands out. So that's why he says there's 10 billion blazes. There's 10 billion things that stand out. The trick is you have to be in the right location. And in the right location, his secret spot, there's only one thing that stands out.
Yeah, I take it differently now. I think the blaze could be a pine tree. Because there's 10 billion pine trees.
Well,
I just don't think it's something unique.
How does that stand out, though? But how does the pine tree stand out? There's a billion of them. They don't stand out.
Because there's a billion of them. I don't know. If I knew this, I would have the treasure chest. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, to me, what stands out is a mark on the pine tree. If I see a mark, like somebody carved something.
But it could be a pine tree with a mark. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So what I'm saying is the reason he says you can't find the blaze first is if you're not in the right location, you're looking at the wrong blaze because there's so many of them. In his secret spot, there's one thing that stands out, and that's the correct blaze. Okay? All right. What else? One more?
Okay. Hold on. I'm not done with it. Stay where you're at. So he has said it's a physical thing. It's something you can look at. He didn't take a radial of it. It may not be in any direction. Does a blaze mean the treasure? Not in his dictionary. So he has said a lot about the blaze, and he's frustrated we're all focusing on the blaze because we all think we have the right WWWH. Some of us do, a few, several, whatever is right, whatever the specifics are. So I believe there are 9 touching locations. And okay, let's go. I just don't know if I'm at the point of where I have to say what you're going to remind me of. Can we all agree New Mexico or Colorado, Greg Keller? I'm in Wyoming, so no, Greg Keller. I'm not going to go as far as what Mike says and say you're wrong, but I am going to say not at this point for me. So that's just my opinion. You got to read Fenn Math 101 first. Okay. Okay. So we're now at this final one. So this is the other piece, and you're just, oh, wow. Kpro moved to Wyoming. Yes, I did. I moved to Wyoming. Maybe you had to figure out what the blaze is going to be before you get there. Maybe you have to figure out what the blaze is going to be. Yeah, because you're supposed to, Lisa Smith is right. When you're, oh, I said something wrong, Greg. I'm sorry. You have to figure out what the blaze is going to be before you get there, because yes, I believe you have to go with confidence. I have no idea what just happened to Mike. Okay, not in Colorado or New Mexico, Greg Keller. Okay, yes, I'm in Wyoming. Yes, I am in Wyoming, and Mike's gonna have to bear with me because I'm working through some stuff. I've shared some stuff with him. Absolutely, Mike's my search partner, but there are some things that I need to work through first before I give him all the little odds and ends. Much like probably what Toby and Shelly are going through. I am.
Can you hear me? You can hear me? Okay, good. Looks like my headset went out for some reason. So instead of trying to figure it out, I just switched real quick. Okay, sorry, I missed that. Okay. No, wait. I don't think they can hear you. Hang on. We had the same problem before. Hang on 1 second. Because the headset changed, it changes. All right, hang on. Okay, talk. See if they can hear you now. They're saying I cut you off on purpose. Talk, Kpro. Hello. That's right. On purpose. No. Can you hear? Can you guys hear? All right, hang on. Somebody said Kpro's too loud. All right, hang on, everybody. Think I'm doing this right. Hang on.
That wireless thing's going in the trash.
Yeah, I don't know why it cut out all of a sudden. We'll be back.
Trash.
Okay, how's that? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? And how about Kpro?
Can you hear me?
You gotta talk, Kpro. There you go.
I know. Can you hear me now?
All right, yeah, I think they can hear now. They can hear. All right, sorry about that, everybody.
Mike, hey, take that new headset and throw it right in the trash.
I don't think it was the batteries. I don't know what happened. Okay, keep going. Sorry. So everything you said they didn't hear. So good. That super secret hint you got, they didn't hear.
Oh my God.
Now you gotta say it again. Go ahead and tell them the hint.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
So we left off on the blaze. All the things that the blaze he said about the blaze, right? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we at as far as the rest? So these, in your opinion, these are the 9 clues, right?
Those are the 9 clues. So here again, we're going to start where it's like in Omega. We were going to start where we ended here. You're too loud. Mike, you're in a tunnel, it says, just to let you know. Anyway, Mike echoes. Kpro is soft. Mike, this is really irritating. Okay, if I'm soft, I'm going to go back up to where I had it set before. So let me put mine up. But if you're echoing, that's irritating to everyone. This is why we tested this. Okay, can you guys hear me better now? And Mike, you got to work out your echo. I can barely hear Kpro. I just turned mine all the way up. Is that better, guys? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. There, I'm at max. Okay, good. Okay, Mike, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm muting mine so they can't hear me. Go ahead.
Okay, Mike, you still have an echo. Everybody's saying. Okay, Mike's echo. So we're here at, those are my 9 and they're color coded and they're Y, and it's really my 8 because I don't believe the final is actually a 9. So maybe this is where I'd reach out to you guys and say, where's the 9th? Because I don't want to start to look for a location and then back in everything. I want to have those 9. I don't know. So I would go 1 below the max. Okay. And let me go a little bit down because I went from kind of middle down to max. So there we have it. Just keep giving me feedback. Okay. So here's the thing that Mike asked about earlier, and I'm going to hold true. One of the most frustrating parts, and I've said this many times about this chase, is when you are between solves. So when you finally give up your solve, and I gave up my Nez Perce 1, and then I went out for someone that I talked with about his solve out in actually where Scott Conway's looking, a little bit up. Okay, and then you guys adjust your side because I'm going to go a little bit up and then I'm going to leave it. Okay, I'm up now. Okay, so the one thing that I was doing is I had emailed Forrest a couple times. I said, gosh, I'm struggling so much. It's hard to stay in there. I'm kind of in the Joel Lewicki mode. This was basically all of last year. I never found, I thought it was interesting, the solve that I did with Follow Me Down, but I wasn't passionate for it. It wasn't a love solve. It was like, I was going on blind dates, but I wasn't like, nothing. So I went on a couple blind dates, which was Lake Heron for me. I went out there a couple times. Okay, so I emailed, thank you for the emails that are coming because I will like to get some good feedback. So I got to the point where I'd emailed Forrest and said, here's an interesting WWWH, and it was in the very western part of New Mexico. And I said, maybe I'm going to look into this a little more. And he emailed me back and he said, is that in the Rocky Mountains? And I remember emailing him back because I checked it and it wasn't. And I was like, oh, this sucks. I suck at this. And he was like, okay, you're okay. Just keep trying, kind of thing. He was being very motivational. But I thought that it was interesting because I thought to myself, so does WWWH have to be in the search location? Does it have to be within like the 4 search states? I've had a solve that it wasn't. So I think a lot of you are going to go, duh, but
you can hear me. You can hear me okay, right?
I can.
All right. I think I took care of the echo, but I'm not sure. You guys tell me how it sounds. But here's the deal. In an email, you told Forrest where your WWWH was, and it was outside the 4 state search area?
No, it was in the 4 search states area. It was outside of the Rockies. It was in very western New Mexico.
Oh, it was outside of the Rocky Mountains. So it was off the highlighted area on the map.
Yes.
Okay. And his response was?
Is that in the Rockies?
Well, there we go, everybody. Everybody wants to know are the 9 clues in the Rocky Mountains. I would say yes. I would think, in my opinion, that means yes.
And I'm not saying that works for anyone else. I'm just giving you my information. Like Cynthia did in her book, like many others do. That's my information. The tipping your toe in it, that's information. All of it's informational. Did he say absolutely not? No, he just asked a question like he normally does and had me conclude it. But there you have it. So I believe all 9 clues need to be in the search location of what he has said. In the Rockies, all of that. So there you have it.
All 9 clues are in the search loop. They are in the 4 search state area. So the highlighted area and Too Far to Walk, those are where the 9 clues are.
In my opinion.
If you guys think different, you're wrong. All right, go ahead. All right, what else?
Feisty Mike. Okay, no, that is my walkthrough. I have moments, and especially I want to thank Forrest because at this part of the season where people are dropping out, people are frustrated, people are this, that, the other, I think he just said to us, see those nice flowers, he just gave me a restart. And that's what I think we need to do. We need to adjust a little. We need to figure this out. And I was the first to say, no, Mike was wrong. When Mike said to me, at the Blaze, it's right there. I always said no, but I'm now saying I'm wrong, and I need to be able to adjust. So I'm in Wyoming. I'm looking for WWWH where you put your toe in it and it's warm and there's a canyon and then there's some wind. And then when you get to the blaze, you look down, it's right there, and then get the hell out of there. Okay.
All right, so I think we narrowed down a couple of things, didn't we?
I don't know.
WWH is a hot, warm water of some type. A lot of people think, well, what could it be other than a hot spring? I don't know, but a hot spring seems like a viable candidate.
Yeah.
Homa Brown is not a, what was it? Structure?
Homa Brown is not a structure. We got that from Cynthia's book with a reporter's confirmation.
The blaze is the 9th clue. And if you find the blaze, you look down, and that is the place, that's where the treasure chest is. That's the place where the treasure chest is. Okay? So your presentation was a little bit different than mine. You want to go through mine?
Yes, I totally do.
All right. I tried to simplify mine because he kind of says simplify. So this is what I got.
Okay, so we should say up front, Mike and I said we're each going to put together a little presentation on our interpretations of the 9 clues. Just compare, because our thought processes work so different. I thought we would be exactly the same, but go ahead.
And there's Joel and his wife. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Okay, nope, let's wait on yours because we have groundbreaking news from Forrest Fenn via Joel Lewicki.
Our special guest, Joel and his wife. All right, go ahead, Joel. Take it away.
Oh, I didn't want to. No, you were going to do your thing.
Oh, I didn't know if you could stick around. Do you want to stick around for it?
Well, I'll be real quick.
No, you can stick around for it, but you have to give out your words from Forrest Fenn, who gave them to you today. This is huge.
Technically he gave them to me yesterday, but I didn't give them out until today.
All right.
Because I'm not as nice as Dale. As soon as he gets them, he puts them out.
Dale said he had that since September that he put out in October.
Well, that one.
Okay. So for people that don't know, give the Facebook group and explain what you did.
Oh, so I run a Facebook group called the Thrill of the Chase Forrest Fenn Community, and it focuses on positive interactions in the chase. Sorry about that. My computer is on a coffee table. And so the group has been growing recently and is up to like 2,000 people. So we have great conversations in there. People share all kinds of stuff that they've come up research-wise, or they bounce stuff off of each other. And it's a fun place, right? And we focus on like positive interactions. And so when we got to about 1,000 people, as we were nearing 1,000 people, I don't remember when this was, a while ago, we did a contest, and we all came up with a question to ask Forrest Fenn. And then he answered it. And that was what's the animal most likely to see the treasure chest since you hid it? And he was like, I don't want to answer that. It sounds like subterfuge, like you're trying to get me to say it's buried or not. And so we had
that's a trick lawyer question. You were correct. Because if he answers it, okay. But it is a trick question.
I don't remember if that was mine or not. But it was the one that got voted on by the group to get asked of him. Right. And then I totally forgot about it. And the group's just kind of grown, by itself. And we've got some great admins and moderators and stuff that are in there. And so as the group has grown and gotten to closer to 2,000 people, I thought, I should ask another question. And just off the cuff, I said, I should ask him this. And so I'll pull it up here and see if I can actually read exactly what it was.
Yeah, because exact words matter.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I wrote to him and I said, Forrest, my Facebook group with the stated goal of, where did it just go? Seriously? Stated goal of being a positive community for individuals searching for Forrest Fenn's treasure continues to grow. As the group reaches 2,000 searchers, I would humbly like to request to ask a question that I can share with these wonderful searchers. That's the people that are in the group. That's how I feel about them. What is one question about the chase you have answered, or one thing you have said that you really wish you hadn't? Thanks, Joel Lewicki. And so I sent him that at like 9, close to 9:30. He wrote back within 20 minutes and said, there was a time when I wish I had not said yes. So the question again was, what is one question about the chase you have answered, or one thing you have said that you really wish you hadn't? And his answer was, there was a time when I wish I had not said yes. And I did write him back and asked what time.
Yeah, right.
And he didn't answer that. So then I responded and said, thanks for responding in the most Forrest Fenn way possible.
Because that could mean anything.
And I said, I'm sure the community have a lot of fun with this one. I can hear it now. What could possibly have been the time he said yes and wishes he hadn't? So told him he's the best. And then I just thought it was awesome that he responded to that and gave us a fun thing,
Mm-hmm. That is cool. Yeah.
It gives people something to talk about and to come up with. So throw that out there to the room. Sure, you guys have great ideas of what that could possibly mean.
And Sassafras has an interesting one. When somebody asked him, is they blaze a single object? He said, in a word, yes. Maybe that's the one he didn't wish.
Well, you know what else he said? Somebody asked if it was wet, and he answered, yes, it was wet. I actually think that's it, because I went to Terry Scant, and I put in the word yes, because I went through every single quote, because this is what we do as treasure hunters down rabbit holes. And I looked at all of them, and they were pretty benign except for one. And I believe that's the whole reason he said it's not underwater. I believe when he put out the wet comment, there was a lot of people that thought it was underwater then, and that's why some people were searching in underwater and then ultimately died searching for it. Not that it's Forrest's fault in any way, but that was that's where I went, because he said, yes, such and such, it is wet. And so my thought is it's the wet comment.
Yeah, I have no idea what he means by there was a time that he said yes and wishes that he hadn't. I don't know what that is, but it certainly gives us something to think about of, okay, so there's at least one thing that we know of that he said that he wishes he hadn't. And so maybe that's the second thing, right? So the New Mexico tourism video, he says, I will say I told you something I wish I hadn't. But if you listen to that video, in there, he doesn't respond yes, at least in the footage that they use.
Right.
So that doesn't seem to be what he's referring to. And of course, everyone thinks that in that video, he's talking about the pinon nut, that maybe that's the thing that he wishes he hadn't said. That didn't come out until later.
Or the buried. It could be the buried. He said buried, but
so,
then he retracted that it was buried.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm quite certain that you are not the only person who searched for Terry Scant yes today. I think that probably a lot of people have looked for that.
It'd be interesting how many hits were yes. Or maybe it was and
well, who knows, right?
I need to go back and put
Tony
Driver's got an interesting point. He says, I'm paraphrasing, I'm going down the logic path, but he says if the treasure chest is wet, doesn't that mean the blaze is wet as well?
He does not mean wet like that.
Yes, he does.
In my...
What do you mean? Okay, define wet like that. What does that mean?
Okay, I will, and I'm going to put it out there again. I was sitting with him and Cynthia, and I said, how can you say it's wet and you can't, and you say it's not underwater? And he said, did you see Cynthia's house last? I stayed at Cynthia's house. He said, did you see Cynthia's house? Everything's wet here because it gets so like mildewy and just, he's like, that's just physics. Don't you know that? You're a PhD. Zing. And I zinged him back. I'm like, no, you're telling us it's wet. He said, but I said it's not underwater. And we had this whole little thing.
So the treasure chest is in New Mexico. Boom. We just proved it. Because Cynthia's house was wet.
Sounds like the treasure chest is in Cynthia's house.
Yeah, right. But yeah, when he says it's wet, that's what he means. Condensation. It could be in any of the 4 states, and it could be wet, right? Okay, super chat from William. Go ahead.
Yeah, we need Joel's feedback on this. In my solve, the treasure chest isn't the box of gold. Poem describes chest, treasure, gold, and trove. Each has its own meaning. Thoughts?
Sounds complicated.
Yeah, I was going to say simplify. The one thing that I'm taking away from Terry Scant, simplify. He's saying Terry Scant means get the hell out of there. Like
everything that I feel like he's been saying lately has been, what else could it mean? Like I think it's way more straightforward than we realize. So
yes. Well, he said people are going to laugh and say, like
whether that's helpful for anybody who knows? But,
So,
hey,
William, we love you. Thanks for the super chat, but that's totally
Yes.
wrong. Okay.
Mike, we're calling. Joel, I don't know
William,
if you've been
thanks,
watching.
but what a waste of money.
No, we've been calling Mike Feisty Mike tonight. He is in. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're off the island. You're off. Like he's voting.
If you guys want to have a good vacation, go down those paths you've been going down. But we're telling you what the clues are, and if you want to actually find this thing, you got to listen.
I was watching the room
when
you guys were talking about like what he said in the video, and they're like, "No, it's this, it's this, it's this," and yeah, I mean, we all get really sucked into our interpretations of stuff, and it's hard to even hear new stuff that he's saying that is blowing up the ideas that we have. So you got to think about what your solve is based on what he is actually saying. So Mike, hey, thanks for letting me jump in front of your presentation.
Yeah, well,
I'll hang up and watch your presentation from the room.
All right. Thanks for coming in, Joel. And you've had like 5 new people join the Facebook group while you talked. I put the link in the chat. Everybody go join that Facebook group.
Yeah,
we'll see you guys on there, all right?
Okay.
You're the
secret
best. Have a
words
good night.
on that Facebook
Thanks, you
page.
too.
Bye.
Bye. So never before seen, other than on Facebook, tonight here, Forrest Fenn Words. We did it again. During the marathon, we had Forrest Fenn interviews here. Groundbreaking. And my presentation.
And that the 9 clues are in the Rocky Mountains, I think is pretty huge too. But that's just my opinion.
That's my opinion too, and I've told you why.
Right.
Bassy, I thought he was retired from the chase. Yeah, William owes me something because he had a bet with me that I don't think he's retired.
Nobody ever really retires from the chase.
Exactly. You can check out any time you like. You can never leave. The face of the retired searcher. Yes, Holly. Okay, Michael, it's your turn. How can you top that presentation I just did? Boom.
All right, give me 1 second.
And again, here's my thoughts. It's not exactly right yet, but that's my thought process. I'm kind of in thought process mode more than exact things. So anyway.
Okay, so my presentation's a lot, I guess, neater or simpler. You guys aren't going to like it, but it's neater and simpler, and we'll go through a lot quicker. So here's the full poem.
It's wrong.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Let me bring this bigger. Zoom. Zoom. Whoa. Okay. So, let me see here. Let's go down. Whoa, that's really big. All right, hang on.
Whoa.
Too big. And actually, I was going to type it out, but we'll just do it this way. We know where warm water salt's the first clue.
Yes.
We know the blaze is the 9th clue. And if you guys don't believe that, you're wrong. I'm just letting you know. You gotta. This is the way we go, guys. Let me lower this a little bit. So, what if we just took every line in between those, and those are the 9 clues? Begin at warm water salt, clue 1. The canyon down is clue 2. Not far, but too far to walk could be clue 3. Now you're probably thinking how or why, because it's a physical place, right? Well, if we find the correct where warm water's halt, and we're going the canyon down, if we're either walking along, maybe we're driving, maybe we're walking, I don't know. But what does not too far to walk mean? If something's too far to walk, what do? We either ride, you could say we ride, or you could say we fly, right? Because it's too far to walk. So if I'm going down where the canyon is and I see Fly Avenue, if I see Fly Street, that's it. Not too far to walk. It's a play on words.
Okay.
It's another way that he's telling us the location. What?
Isn't Terry Scan a play on words for a lot of people, and it's an actual clue, but he just said don't do that?
Possible. Yeah, it's possible, I guess.
Okay.
But so too far to walk could be one of the clues if there's an actual place that too far to walk means too far to walk. If I see Worthington Drive, right? If I see something called Drive, that could be too far to walk because the name Drive is in the name of where we're trying to go to. So put in below thermal brown would be a clue. And at this point, what if we're walking? The put in, a lot of people are saying either you go in water or maybe you are driving, and this is where you park. The put in is where you park. From there, it's no place for the meek. How is that a clue? Well, we don't know, but it's got to be a play on words. If something has meek, if the place has meek in the title, then I think that could be it, right? Or because it says what?
I don't think it's anything that's named like that. I think it's more like it's not like a road. It could be, but I don't think it's that obvious.
But well then, okay, so it's no place for the meek. So maybe it's the opposite of the meek because it's no place for the meek. Thank you, Thor Girl. Yeah, for the super chat. Go ahead and give his email address.
Yeah, it's forrestfenn@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him. It's him.
And then the other thing is this entire stanza is one sentence. This entire stanza could be clue 9. In other words, if you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to see. In other words, that all means the same thing.
Right.
If you found the blaze is the actual clue 9, but all the rest of it can fit in there. Okay.
Well, okay, I don't agree with you though. Go back down where he says Terry Scant, because he's already said that means get the hell out of there. You already have it in your hands. Get the hell out of there.
But it's not a clue. It does mean that. It means take the chest and go in peace. Those aren't clues, but you could say this whole thing is part of the found the blaze clue.
Right. I was debating with Searcher. God, I spent too much time on the hunt. Saying, is it begin at where warm waters halt or where warm waters halt, which is the actual first clue? And for me, it doesn't matter much because it's begin. Now, he has said where warm waters halt, not begin it. But it's if it's the whole set, like take it in the canyon down or canyon down, whichever one. If that is helpful to say blaze quickly down, Terry Scant, Marvel Gay, that's too complicated for me. But okay, cool. You do you. I like it. I'm not gonna hate on you for it.
I mean, the end is ever drawing nigh. Can that be a clue? Or does it just mean go to the left? Does it just mean, like you said, it's just saying it's up here. It's going to end up here. And maybe drawing nigh means to the left, that you're supposed to keep an eye out to the left. But if it says the end is ever drawing nigh, and as I'm walking along in the right area, there's something that's called end, I mean, that's it then. That is a location where you could stop at and make a turn. Because I'll go back to what I said before. Each one of the 9 clues is a geographic location or a waypoint, right? So if I'm in the middle of a park and begin at where warm waters halt is begin it at the big oak tree in the park, I found the oak tree. I'm standing there at the oak tree. Now where do I go? I take it in the canyon down. So where the oak tree is, there's one canyon. And down could mean south, down could mean water flow. For me, if I see a canyon with water, I'm going down, meaning where the water flows. It's not far, but too far to walk. I'm looking for a home of brown, but if I see something that's called, drive, something ride, something fly, that would fit too far to walk, then to me that then becomes a clue.
See, it's directional to me. That's directional.
And it could be. It could be directional.
So canyon and home of brown, there might be something from there, from this to there, but I know.
But the problem with yours is you didn't have 9 clues. I don't know. And you're saying you're not sure where the 9th was.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You gave me a deadline, and I met my deadline. It's not exactly there, but the thought process is there.
And I agree on creek. So think about it this way. If there's a creek, that creek has a name, right? There's a
right, and I think that's what
creek.
The no paddle is about. The no paddle gives the hint for the clue, which is the creek.
The end is ever drawing nigh. It could be a clue. I mean, once we're there, maybe it'll make sense. Or maybe we're just looking on the left for the creek, possibly. Or we're going along a creek, on the left-hand side is the creek. That's the way that we walk. Now, heavy loads and water high, I look at it as one clue because there's an and. I mean, is the heavy loads and water high the same thing? I don't know that. Without being there, I don't need it. I mean, it could be a water. People think it's a waterfall, and I guess it's possible. No. But why can't it be possible?
I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm opening my mind. I'm not just completely there yet. I just think, then why didn't he say, I don't know. I just think maybe there's 2 different clues that get, no, I need 2 because I don't know.
Bill Gorman says if Forrest said each clue has a geographic location, it means each clue is a different location. But they all touch each other, Bill. That's correct. But they all touch each other. When you're at the correct where warm waters halt, you've got to have a canyon right there. If you don't, your where warm waters halt is incorrect.
Right. And he blew me up for that one. He blew me up for that one.
Who did?
Forrest.
Oh, right. He said,
like, where's your canyon? And I'm like, it's 67 miles down. He's like, where warm waters halt canyon, contiguous. I'm like, no, that's not what it means. And I loved it when I tried to tell Forrest Fenn about his poem. It didn't go on well. You guys already knew how we banned.
Well, check this out. He said a couple people figured out the first 2 clues, right? So a couple people figured out where warm waters halt, and they've gone down the correct canyon. But maybe nobody has figured out Home of Brown yet. And maybe they haven't figured it out because they're skipping the too far to walk part. And maybe that's why you're never going to find Homer Brown if you don't turn. If you're going down that canyon, you've got to figure out where this too far to walk is. And maybe it's, yeah.
In 10 years, we're not out of the first stanza of clues.
That's correct. He said maybe somebody has possibly solved the first 4 clues. He's not sure. Now, he said searchers have been within 200 feet. So to me, that means all these clues are pretty, 200 feet is not a very big area. I forget who it was, but somebody showed with a measuring tape how far 200 feet is. Remember? They hung the red thing from a tree. They walked away 200 feet. They turned around and said, look how close that is. It's not that far. Most parks are bigger than 200 feet. So I believe most people are still stuck in the first stanza. And why is that? If a couple searchers have figured out the right Warm Waters Halt, have gone down the right canyon, why are they missing the Homer Brown? And you're saying it's not a structure. Okay. Some people think it's brown trout, but I don't know. Because we have to put in, first you have to find the Homer Brown, then you have to put in below it. So wherever that Homer Brown is, we have to go below it. So to me, if I'm walking down a canyon, there's a canyon with water in it that's flowing. I'm walking down it, it's on my left-hand side, because where Warm Waters Halt, that's the side of the canyon I was on. Maybe it's possible we're on the wrong side of the canyon. Right? How do we know which side if Warm Waters Halt at the mouth of that canyon, and when we go down the canyon, are we supposed to be in the water, going down the middle? Are we supposed to be on the right side of the canyon or left side of the canyon to find Homer Brown? And maybe people can't find the Homer Brown because they're missing this too far to walk part. Maybe this does not mean get in your car and drive. Maybe it means walk, and you're supposed to, this is an actual place that tells you where to veer off. It's just an idea. I don't know if it's right or not. But I like it that it's just each line is a clue, and then you get down to 9. He said every word's deliberate. He said, it took him 15 years, and maybe this is why. Now, the end is ever drawing nigh. How can that be a physical place? He's got to tell us where to turn. He's got to tell us where to go. If each of the clues touch each other, and that's why it's so hard, because that's why I think it hasn't been found. It is hard to figure out where the Homer Brown is. What does he mean by brown? And then once I find it, how do I put in below it? Does below mean south? If there's no structure there like a house, how do I go in below it? Doesn't mean that it's on the edge of the water, and I put in means go through the water, across the water.
And I like what DKR says. And what's with that pesky capital B?
Right.
Pesky thing.
And then
it's like a little mosquito.
And something we didn't touch on is there is a word that we should be in tight focus with. I would think the word is within these 9 clues, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. I do believe the word is in the poem. I think that's obvious. Some people don't think it's in the poem. Some people think it's in.
I think it's in the poem, and I think it. I mean, it is the one that really scratches. So many people have different interpretations of it. Begin it. What is it to you? Begin it where Warm Waters Halt. Take it in the canyon down.
It is your search. It is your search. Begin your search where Warm Waters Halt. Your physical boots on the ground. That's what it is, in my opinion. Your boots on the ground.
Okay.
So begin boots on the ground where Warm Waters Halt, and take your boots on the ground in the canyon down. Put in below the Homer Brown. From there, it's no place for the meek.
From there, your search is no place for the meek. I'm just going with another it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this it is the same as the it in this stanza. I think he's just saying from there, it's no place for the meek. This is part of that together.
Okay.
But to go back to what you were saying, if this is not a clue, then that would mean brown is clue 3, right? We know Warm Waters Halt's a clue. We know canyon is a clue. That canyon has to go into the Homer Brown we put in below it. And I wonder if put in below means turn away from this canyon. We were following a canyon, but when we find the Homer Brown, the put in is on the other side of the canyon. We now turn directions. It's just an idea. I don't know until I'm there. So from there, it's no place for the meek, because this is a place, and we're looking for named locations. This is one of the clues. The end is ever drawing nigh. If that's not a clue, but so if it's a direction, would a direction be one of the clues? If the end is ever drawing nigh means look to the left, is that considered a clue if it's just a direction?
If you think about this could be our nine lines, 9 clues. There's 9 lines here.
What do you mean? That's what I just did, right?
Yeah, but I didn't like
Oh.
it. But now I'm considering it. No, but I
Well,
like
no.
mine better.
But what I'm saying is, if the end is ever drawing nigh, just means the end is ever coming up on the left. It's not a named
It's more of a
location.
directional. Right,
Would
it's
that
a
be
directional.
a clue? Would the direction be considered a clue? I'm kind of leaning toward yes. Because if I'm at the oak tree at the very beginning, if I'm in the middle of the park at the oak tree, which way do I go? North, south, east, or west? That's a clue to tell me to go north. The direction is a clue as well. Canyon down is a direction. Now, he put
Let's see
canyon and down together as one clue, I think. Okay. go
Okay.
ahead.
So let's Wayne Ross, thank you for the super chat. Hey guys, Cynthia says that the structure comment applies to all 9 clues. Kpro, can we get an answer to whether he ruled out trout for home of brown? Wayne Ross, that one is not for me to say. I have heard that from someone that I believe believes it as well, and someone that I do believe that is the case, but they don't want to get into all of this. So no, it has not been confirmed by Forrest. It has not been confirmed by the searcher. I did not hear it directly. It's third-hand information. So I don't think we can get it confirmed, in my opinion. So, and gosh knows, I'm not going to out anybody that doesn't want to be outed, because look what they get into when they
Right.
do. So.
Yeah. There's some issues.
Yeah, so I like your idea though, that I almost see like clues as physical locations and hints in the poem as directions.
But if the clues are physical locations, how do we make 9 fit? So, okay, Warwater Salt is a place. It touches a canyon. That's clue 2. We keep going till we hit the home of Brown. Clue 3. No place for the meek. It's a place. That's clue 4. The end is ever drawing nigh. If that's just informational, meaning you're coming, maybe the end is ever drawing nigh means it's closer than you think. Don't walk a whole couple miles. It's coming up pretty quick, and that ties into your email that got answered by him.
Hold on one second. Denise Bagley is saying he did rule out trout. When did he rule that out? And do you have a reference or a quote? Keep going, Mike.
And I'll look on Terry Scant. Okay, there'll be no paddle up your creek. If we're now in a creek, we've gone from the canyon to a creek. Could the water that's in the canyon be the creek? Or did we make a turn somewhere? Yeah, that's another question. But this would be clue 5, right? Heavy loads in water high could be 2, 6,
yeah,
and
you better
7.
put it as 2. Yeah, I was going to say.
But see, then there's still 8 and 9. So a lot of people think if you've been wise could be a clue. But to me, that's not.
I thought when I was up at the Bighorn area, Wisdom, that's the closest to Wisdom, the city or township of Wisdom was the closest to the Bighorn battleground. So I always thought wise, and then I just have to find the blaze there. So it could be.
Right.
I'm just saying you're one short as I am.
Well.
So if you go back, it has to be not far but too far to walk, or the end is ever drawing 9. It has to be one of the 2, right?
Or both, maybe.
Oh, and then put heavy loads and water high together?
Yes. That's a possibility. And we're just throwing it out there to say, hey, everybody, it's a possibility for when you're out there looking. For those people that did figure out the right Warwater's Halt, even though you don't know who you are, I like it like this just because it's simpler. Each line is a clue. We know this is the first one. That's a done deal. We know this is the last one. That's a done deal.
Yep.
Figuring out those locations in the middle that are contiguous, chronological, and continuous. Were those the 3 C's?
Contiguous, chronological, and consecutive.
Consecutive. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Triple
consecutive.
C's. Like
But
diamond ring.
Isn't it interesting also that we've got water, and we've got water. Guess what? It's by water. It's not in water. We know the treasure chest is not underwater. But there's definitely water involved in the solve. Because remember, we're keeping it simple. The poem is kind of literal, right?
Yeah, Terry Scant means get the hell out of there.
Right, meaning the words mean what they mean. Now, I know he said you got to look up the meaning of words, and maybe that's like nigh means left.
Angelo is saying first stanza is the 9th clue, but he has said they're chronological, contiguous, consecutive. He said all those words. We can't do a jump back. We can't. That would fly in the face of the words he has said.
The first stanza is the first clue, or the
is
last
the
clue?
ninth, the 9th clue.
Well, I don't understand how that works at all. I don't. Yeah, I don't see it.
So the one, okay, so Mike and I agree on where warm water salt is the first clue, and the blaze is now the last clue.
Mm-hmm.
We are working on the middle. We came up with 2 different interpretations. Everyone could just say I'm right more than Mike. But of course, if it doesn't fit your solve, you might be going, no, no, no. And so, yeah, this is, somebody said earlier, this is like a rerun of the last 9 years, because we're not very far, guys. I just don't think the majority, 350,000 or 400. He actually used the word 400,000. Did you notice? So 400,000 people, none of us have gotten there yet. So
let me ask you this. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just spitballing here, guys. We're just talking out loud. But I think this talking about it is maybe how something will click and somebody will find this thing. I'm at where warm waters halt. I say there's the canyon. Where warm waters halt is the canyon. It's obvious. This is the canyon. I'm walking along the canyon down. As I'm walking along, I see a trail sign. It's just a trail that goes off perpendicular, goes off away from the canyon, but it's called Faraway Trail. Would that make sense?
What if there's a sign that says don't walk too far off this trail?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's something there where this play on words will make sense to where this is a actual clue. And if it is a trail or some kind of walkway, this is also a direction. Follow that trail. Does that make sense? Not far, but too far to walk. Faraway Trail. It does.
Let me jump in for a second. Okay. Paulie's asking a question that I think is really interesting. I want your perspective because I have one. What do you 2 make of him saying nobody has given him the clues in order? Here's what I think might be happening. Somebody gets the right WWWH, then they get to the right canyon right there. But then they go too far and they think Homer Brown is actually Meek, and they're taking a wrong turn because if they've interpreted Homer Brown, Meek, and Paddle Up Your Creek incorrectly.
Mm-hmm. That's possible.
And because of that, that's what's gotten them. They're on the right path and they took the wrong. They are at a fork and they took the wrong turn.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely possible. Either they can't find the rest of the clues, or they're misinterpreting what they mean and they're getting them mixed up somehow.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this is a very long distance at all, to tell you the truth.
So Lisa Smith says, what was it that he said? When you figure out the clues, you will find yourself coming back to the beginning or something like that. I don't know that quote. That's a new quote to me. Do you know that one, Michael?
Read it again. I'm sorry.
Lisa,
I'm looking for it.
Lisa Smith.
What? Oh, I got you.
That one. Read it out loud for everybody.
Yeah. When you figure the clues, you will find yourself coming back to the beginning or something like that. He quotes that T.S. Eliot poem where he talks about they'll never have known that where they started is something or other about where they ended. A lot of people think maybe these clues are circular. He takes you in a circle, and you're back a little bit closer to where you parked your car as to where the treasure chest is. You know what I mean? That you're going around in a circle. It's possible, or maybe a half circle. I mean, that's possible.
An omega, yeah. Ray says, Terry scanned the word contiguous. There is only one time he uses it during the Moby Dickens. That's why everybody, thank goodness for Toby. He speaks of how close the clues are. I don't know what he says about how close they are. I believe they are close. That's just my opinion.
And then, so here's a sticky point, and this is valid. Las Vegas AC dude says, Forrest Fenn didn't say the last clue was look quickly down. He said that when you get to the last clue and then you look down. But if you put it together, you're right, he didn't actually say that. But when you put it together, look quickly down, the blaze is the last clue, because that is when, according to the poem, that you look quickly down.
You look quickly down. Right. Yeah. Right. And Mike and I agree on almost nothing. And so since we agree, it has become fact. You can put it in an encyclopedia. I'm dating myself there. Take this down. Let's put ourselves back up and let's talk a little bit about. So in general, let's summarize here. I've put out a logic pattern. That doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean that I'm just a searcher with some information. Some of it's public, some of it's not. I don't think Forrest gives private hints. I think he's thrown some things he always asks back with a question. That doesn't mean that I should rule it out or not rule it out or whatever, but he does answer things to hundreds of thousands of searchers, to Joel Lewicki tonight, who got some words, which is awesome. Oh, we got another super chat. Scott Conway, thank you. Yes, you go down 95 in a car, you walk up along 95. See, I can see some people when they have that. That's the thing that drives me crazy. When you have, like when I saw wisdom on a map, and I'm like, I'm at the part of the blaze, but at the beginning it's like, if you've been wise, I'm like, oh, it makes your stomach drop, but then you don't have the
Thor girl says, why did he hide it if it's that easy? Nobody's saying it's easy. It's obviously not easy because we're here 9 years later. We're just trying to figure out how the clues could be put together. We're just spitballing here.
And the big thing for me is, what have we done wrong? 400,000 of us, because he's now said 350 to 400. 400,000 of us, and we're going into our 10th year. What are we doing wrong? And I think Mike and I have both said, and I look at some of the things that people are doing, it's because we're overcomplicating it. Terry Scant, what does it mean? He was like, it means get the hell out of it. Like, it's like he's almost saying, duh. Now, here's the other thing, though. I do remember when I first started, maybe 3-4 years ago, people were using lemon juice on their, it was like National Treasure thing. They were using lemon juice on their book, and they were using a hair dryer. I think we've gotten away from that, or at least the majority has. That's not the big talk, like, ooh, let me put lemon juice on my YouTube channel and see if it works. I think we've simplified, but for me, I've gone down too many rabbit holes. It's too specialized knowledge. When I shared my solve last year with Cynthia and Follow Me Down, both of them said specialized knowledge is too complicated. I could only imagine if I shared it with you, you'd be like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
Because it's too specialized. And I hear a lot of people's solves. They do share a lot of stuff with me. And I'm the first to say, specialized guy. It seems too specialized. Periodic table, advanced knowledge of the periodic table.
Daniel, that's too much. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say?
Daniel Silver says, is Forrest Fenn really going to reveal the clues tonight? He did, Daniel Silvers. If you listen to him, he did. He gave us the first clue. He gave us the last clue. And what you've got to do is figure out what those clues are in between. But he did tell us where the clues are in the poem. Not the first stanza, not the fifth stanza, and not the sixth stanza. No. And our opinion. I mean, you can differ, but you'd be wrong. So.
Well, and Alamo Rose says you're taking the poem too literally. Up until this point, I've been doing the opposite. I've been taking it too imaginatory. I have been going down every rabbit hole. I need to go a little bit more, like he says, get inside the box, get back in the box. Kpro, are you sensing a different level of urgency from Forrest recently? Why so many new scrapbooks, hidden audio interviews, clarifying clues? Alan K., I will give you my opinion on that. Two things. One, I think after this many years, and I've had a lot of discussion with him about this, this is the time of year, if he doesn't put something out, we all start to churn into the drama and craziness because we have nothing else to talk about. If he puts out this kind of level of audios, interviews, there's more interviews coming that are fabulous, and other things like that. And I say fabulous not because I've heard them. Some people thought I've heard all the Forrest Fenn interviews on Jens. That's stupid. So I have not seen anything inappropriate, or before somebody else has. I just know of some interviews coming out that anytime we get a lot of good words, 28 minutes from Forrest Fenn, I know it's going to be good because it's from Forrest. I don't think he has a sense of urgency because he's already said this is going to be found when it's going to be found, and he's okay with it. I think he's realizing if in this time of season for the next month or two, if there isn't information out, the search community is going to spin into more drama mode because that's all we have to churn. So if there's words out, we won't get into drama crap, which he hates. Some searchers say, oh, he loves it when I talk about drama every day to him. He hates it.
Yeah, there's certain people that bother him with drama over and over multiple times a day, which is sad. But I will say this, I think it was Thor Girl said, well, if it's just look down and that's where the chest is, that sounds easy. I believe when you find the right blaze, it is that easy. You look right down and that's where the chest is. I get a lot of emails from people that are like, I'm at the right blaze and I've been there 20 times and I just can't find it. I know it's there. I don't believe that. When you finding the right blaze is the tricky part. All you got to do is look down, get it, and get the heck out of there, like that stanza says. Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze. It doesn't say if you've been wise and found the blaze, look around for several trips. It doesn't say, you know what I mean? It doesn't say it's hard.
I think you're at an exact spot, and that's the other thing that people are missing, or at least I have been missing up to this point. How many people have gone boots on the ground and say, I know it's in this 100-foot area, or 200-foot, 500-foot area?
That's not the right place.
We can't go with confidence unless we know exactly where it is. Now, you can't see it on Google Earth, but you can know within the size of my desk where it is.
I believe that. I like that analogy, the size of a desk. I like that.
Yeah. And Minotaur Marino put it he's more eloquent even in the written word. It helps for the September crash, and I will say even October crash, because I don't know how you guys had. It was 90 degrees here where I'm at right now, let alone searchers are still searching. What are the words from Forrest to Joel? Denise asked.
Yeah.
Do you have the exact words?
The words were, I'm trying to remember. And
Oh, wait,
it's posted in the Facebook group. If you guys go to the Facebook group, Joel posted it. He says, I wish there was something I hadn't said yes to, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
he
that
said, hold on, I actually texted to somebody, so I was able to cut and paste it 100 times.
And while you're looking for it, Craig Carter says, Forrest just confirmed that in those interviews, it is that easy. Find the blaze, look down, because there it is. Finding the blaze is the hard part. When there's a billion things that are blazes, so how do we know what's the right one? When you're in his right location, which you've been led to by the previous 8 clues, there's only one thing that stands out, and that's the proper blaze. You look down, there's a treasure chest. In my
There's
opinion.
10 billion blazes, but there's only one that matters. Okay, the question was, what is the one question about the chase you have, and you put have in all caps, answered, or one thing you have, all caps, said that you really wish you hadn't? And the answer was, quote, there was a time when I wish I had not said yes.
Yes, and Ray posted it in the chat, so everybody can see it.
Oh,
It's
great.
there. I wish you wouldn't have said both. What is one question, or what is one answer?
I told him that. Yes,
know,
I
because
said,
now
Joel,
we're
you got to
never
pick
gonna know.
one.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it was Thor Girl asked, Cowlazars, do you think there's a lead searcher? I don't think there's somebody that knows they're the lead searcher. There's a million lead searchers. Everybody thinks they're in the right area and they know where it is. But no, there's somebody that's been physically the closest. I just don't know if Forrest knows who that is. So when we say lead searcher, it's somebody that's been the closest, but they don't know who they are. Nobody knows who they are. Is Stephanie the lead searcher? Is Cynthia the lead searcher? Is Kpro, when we went to Montana, the lead searcher? Nobody knows. I mean,
well, but
am I the
he
lead
said
searcher?
that
I don't know.
he
I wouldn't know
scans
it.
emails for keywords.
Right.
And I think there is a keyword on there, and it's not brown, and it's not meek, and it's not that. There is a specific keyword that could be very close.
So it goes back to not far, but too far to walk. What would the keyword be? Faraway Trail, right? If what those lines, if each of those lines is a clue, what those clues reference could be the keyword that he's looking for. If you've got to go to Faraway Trail or something that not far but too far to walk references, and when you see it, you'll be like, oh, that's it? He's looking for that in the email. Does that make sense, everybody? Put in below the home of Brown. What is the home of Brown? That's the key word he's looking for.
Well, but here's the thing, too, that I thought. If Forrest has to scan each email, and that's what he says he does, it has to be a word generic enough that he cannot just do a word search. Let's say it's, I'm just going to use a term that's not very common, Quiver Lake.
Okay.
If it was Quiver, he could just do a control find on his email each day and see if anybody put in Quiver. Because he hasn't, I think he actually has to read some of the emails to say, like you have said, it is Meek Way, but you have to put Meek and Way together, and it might be W-Y, it might be W-A-Y.
The other thing is he knows the area where it's in. So when you start your email out, Forrest, we went to Yellowstone, and if the treasure chest is not in Yellowstone, he'll read your email because he's interested, but he's not looking for those keywords anymore because he knows you're in the wrong area. If you send him an email that says, hey, I went looking by Taos and the treasure chest is not in New Mexico, he doesn't need to scan the rest of your email for keywords. He knows you're in the wrong area. I'm sure he does scan the emails just because he wants to know people's personal stories of their trip they took.
No way. Do you know how many we get, let alone
Well, when I say scan, I don't mean he reads every email. I'm sure in the beginning he did. In the beginning, it was probably fun to hear about, you know, so-and-so had the best vacation with their family they ever have. He likes that kind of stuff. But if somebody, so think about it. Out of all the emails he gets that says this is where I searched, 25% are in the right search state because there's 4 states, right? Those emails he's going to read a little bit closer, isn't he? And within those the 25% of those emails that are in the right state, he's going to look for those keywords. Let's say it's in Montana.
Except for if they start out, that's if they start out that way, right?
Well, if I tell somebody where I'm going, if I'm emailing Forrest about my trip, I'm going to tell him where I went. I mean, I would think.
So there's a couple things happening.
Yeah.
So Adrian says, quote, Brown Trout has nothing to do with Homer Brown. Chase chat quoting from someone who says the email came from them from 2015. And update, I have confirmed this with F myself, coming from another searcher. I think those are the searchers that Well, I won't even go there. Yes, so that is third-hand information. That's not something, just like what I say. If it's not on Dale's and it's not on Jenny's, you still have to take it with a grain of salt, even if it's coming from me or Joel Lewicki. He might have made up what he got today, the groundbreaking Forrest Fenn words. But in general, yes, I know that there was a lot of things said on Chase Chat at a time that I don't know if I would hold as gospel as I used to. That's what I.
Well, 3D Brown says, Cowlazars Kpro, he probably has to scan for keywords because so many people email him about the correct general area. Therefore, it's within or close to a popular search area. Possible. I mean, maybe.
Possible, not
It's possible. So somebody just emailed me, and for one more time, Kpro, explain.
I cannot
No.
look at my emails.
No.
I have like 30. I can't. I'm sorry. Oh, and you know who called me? I almost took the call. It was Toby.
He called you in the middle? Is that right?
Yes, I said we're live. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I texted him back.
If you want to come on,
like,
Toby, email me.
Well, I said, is it an emergency? He's like, no, we're just getting back. We're talking about something else. So I'm like.
So here's the question. Explain it one more time. We've done it a couple times. Where or when did we hear that Forrest said Homer Brown is not a structure?
So there's a book.
Yes.
Let's see.
It's in Cynthia's book, so it is secondhand knowledge, everybody. Now, I don't believe Cynthia's writing a book and lying about things Forrest told her, but it is
especially since she's so
secondhand
close
knowledge.
with them now.
Yeah. It's in Cynthia Meacham's book.
Yeah, so Cynthia Meacham has a book.
Right.
And what she does is she goes over the searches that she went on and then why, and then some things that she said. She meets with a lot of reporters.
Right.
That particular one, which one was this? The not associated with the structure?
Right. Homer Brown is not associated with the structure.
So if you go to page 23, and some people think 23 is important.
23 Monarcha does. Go ahead, sorry.
So I'm actually going to read these two paragraphs. Not long after this, she tells about one of her stories.
Mm-hmm.
Not long after this, I met Forrest at Collected Works bookstore in Santa Fe. And once again, I enthusiastically relayed the search story to him. When I discussed the CCC cabin as being Homer Brown, he immediately said, don't you remember? I said it can't be associated with the structure. Does that mean none of the clues associated with the structure? Because at that point, the only thing he'd put out is the final location. Later, I talked to a local woman who used an Indian ruin as her Homer Brown, and she confirmed he reminded her of the statement, quote, the hidden treasure is not associated with any structure, period. Now, this is where she takes a leap, but I agree with her, a leap of logic. In my opinion, he is saying none of the 9 clues can be associated with a structure.
And that could be. I mean, I don't think that might invalidate a lot of people's solutions, but I don't think that's possible. If you're in when I say a remote area, I just mean a forest, trees. There's not a house. He said it's not in close proximity to a human trail. I could see no structures being around. You're in the woods. And Yellowstone, there's no structures. You're in the middle of, Yellowstone. Yeah.
Doug Haydick says, I am wrong. Kpro, you are wrong. Okay, awesome. So are you. I don't even know what your solve is. So are you. No, but we all are. We're just spitballing here. We're just having some fun.
Now,
but I am wrong.
All right, hold the presses. Adrian Bryan in the chat says, Cowlazars from Chase Chat, quoting an email from Forrest Fenn from July 11, 2015. Brown trout have nothing to do with Home of Brown. And this person says, I have confirmed this with Forrest Fenn myself. The problem is if you've confirmed that, I don't know why Forrest would not come out and tell everybody the same thing. But you guys take that for what it's worth. Somebody posted on Chase Chat, July 11, 2015, that Forrest said brown trout has nothing to do with Homer Brown. Okay.
You mean the site that says this is a hoax and Forrest Fenn is a beep, 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 beep?
Back then, a lot of other people posted. I don't think too many people post on Chase Chat anymore. Yeah, we were all on Chase Chat at one time.
Because we all were, and now there's hint of riches. Okay, Kpro, when Forrest tells people things, what's the likelihood that the person understands what Forrest said? DeBear, we need a class called Fenn Speak, because here's the thing. No matter if you think you understand him, you don't necessarily understand him, and it might be the 85-15 rule. So, DeBear, there is no way to answer that, in my opinion, at all, which is tough, which means we need to focus on the poem and TTOTC. There you have it.
Thor Girl says, do you think if someone solved the poem and asked Forrest for confirmation, he would give it, like the lady in Nevada? I don't know who the lady in Nevada is. But if you put an email to Forrest the correct solution, he would not email you back. He said, you've got to go get the chest. He's not going to tell you if you're right, if you're close. You know what I mean? You've got to go get the chest. Now, he may put out a scrapbook the next day to mess with you, but he's not going to ever confirm if any of us are right or wrong. He won't even confirm if we're in the right state.
No, I think he does confirm when we're wrong. Personally.
Well, that's true. He will mess with you if you're wrong.
I don't think.
Yeah. Okay.
And like that's why I don't think I'm the lead searcher when I couldn't even get that something's in the Rocky Mountains. Like, but others are as well doing the same thing. So DeBear is saying exactly why do we take third-hand information from a person who may not understand Fenn speak? That's true. That you don't have to. But I believe if anyone can understand Forrest, it's Cynthia. So I like her book for that reason. Vicky says structure doesn't necessarily rule out a home. Birds live in nests, and those are their home. Vicky, I like that because here's what I'm going to say. I will say, for me, it's man-made structure. Mm-hmm. It could be a beaver dam. It could be a bird's nest. I don't think that would withstand the test of time. I think they're actual locations, physical, geographical locations, personally, that you could actually find on a map, maybe. So I don't know.
Craig Carter says, so they both heard home of Brown is not related to a structure, but it's not clear that none of the clues are related to a structure. Right. That's just something Cynthia believes, but you're right. It's not clear. That's just what Cynthia believes.
There's a logic leap there. You are wrong to scuba dive in the Rio Grande. Craig Carter, he didn't say that.
Who's scuba diving? What the hell?
I think everybody's coming up. This is the third-hand information, and this is what I mean too. Third-hand information, I think, is you have to consider the source. When I consider the source of Cynthia and reporters have no vested interest in certain things, in my opinion. And if they're confirmed by a searcher that I happen to trust, I may be wrong. I trust Cynthia. I don't think she makes stuff up. I think she looks out for the best of this chase. I think she is hardcore into treasure hunting. She only shares some things, but when she shares it, I believe she believes that it is fact. That does not mean that I'm right.
Two things. Big super chat from Tim Sims. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. Apparently, I need a new headset since that one went out. And in a minute, I'm going to show you what we did spend some of the super chat money on. But here's a good one from DeBear. Why it cannot be trout. From Mysterious Writings, my question, is there more than one home of Brown? Thanks, Jill. No, Jill, there is only one home of Brown in my poem. Yeah, but you're reading that's Fenn speak. There's only one home of Brown in his poem. It doesn't mean what that home of Brown refers to. There can't be multiple in the Rocky Mountains. It's interesting, and I understand what you're saying. You're saying he said there's only one home of Brown. There's multiple brown trouts. He said in his poem there's only one home of Brown. What do you think?
Right, but this is why I rule out brown trout, and y'all, that was one of my first.
What?
My first one was brown trout. It was Madison, brown trout, and Ojo Caliente. Like, come on.
Did Forrest ever say anything to you like brown trout? That does, like he did with Warm Waters Halt. Did he ever say anything about home of Brown?
No. Here's what he said about my first one, which was Madison Junction, brown trout, and Ojo Caliente. He's like, you and 100,000 other people. Really, Kpro? I'm like, yeah, really. Like,
okay.
Like, don't.
So, he will mess with you if you're wrong, right? I mean, isn't that... He'll tell you, like, duh, it doesn't make sense. What?
He will mess with you if you have a PhD.
Here's something we got. Santa Claus came. Look at that. That is a soundboard, and that is going to allow the Kpro and Cow Show to take live phone calls. I don't know how long it's going to take me to figure out how to use that thing and take live phone calls, but we will get to that point. What?
Oh, man.
No, I shouldn't have said that? What?
No, I'm like, this is... Toby is really good at facilitating phone calls. It is going to be interesting if we have that same ability. So this could be a train wreck coming. Yeah. It's going to be fun, but that's what we're about. This is fun. So when people say you're using your super chat money for blah, 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 just chill. No. Well, anyway, I won't go there.
Well, it's just going to be me saying you're wrong, hang up. You're wrong, hang up. You're wrong, hang up. What is it? You're wrong, hang up.
No, you're feisty tonight. No, I get one. Finding the chest way back said, why do you think Forrest has a sense of urgency when he said, get the hell out of there when referring to Terry Scant? Does that imply we might be in a place that we shouldn't be? That's a great question.
I don't believe so, but that's just me. That's open to interpretation. I think it means don't sit there and catalog the chest and pull everything out. Get it and go and get to your car. Who knows who else is around? Who knows if there's a bear behind you? Who knows what else? You know what I mean? Get it, you found it, get back to your car and wait 30 days to figure out what you want to do.
I think there's secret people that are going to fall out of the sky because I'm going to be so nervous. Okay, me and my first search partner had this disagreement. There's two of us.
Yeah.
And he said when we get to it, he actually brought a bag and he said, we're going to put all the contents in. We're going to leave the chest. We're going to go back to the car. You'll stay with the car with the gun. And then we're going to come back. Now, we didn't have a gun, but we talked about this. And then he's going to go back and get the treasure chest. And I said, are you out of your mind? I'm not leaving any of it. We are going, there's two of us. We're going to take it and we're going to run like hell. And our adrenaline, we may die from adrenaline overdose, but we are not leaving one damn thing. And he's like, no, we are. And I'm like, then you can go it alone, my friend. Like that was our biggest argument. There's no way. We haven't talked about this, Mike.
No, we haven't talked about if we actually found it, the steps we would take once we found it. You're right.
Yeah,
we have not
that'll be another show.
Minotaur Marino has got a question for you, Kpro, and I think about it because I think it does make sense. I mean, it is something to ponder. If the rest of us think dip your toe in it, and brown isn't related to trout, that Forrest has said these things, how do you reconcile him saying he's never given out a clue to anyone?
A private clue.
You think those were private clues? When he says, did you dip your toe in it? And you're like, no, now you know your solution is wrong. Is that a clue?
Right, but, well, the reason I say private is, other than the audio heard around the world, it's not something that he said to everyone. So, okay, this is my... In
other words, did he give you a clue by telling you your warm waters halt is wrong? Did you dip your toe in it?
Okay, I'm going to use a different...
clue for you? Okay.
I'm going to use a different term just to try to... I think when he sees the clueless, I think he gives them a nudge to keep them in the hunt. I think he wants to grow this hunt, and I think he knows it does so much good. Look what it did for me. I dropped 100 pounds. I'm healthy. I have a lot of positive from it. When he sees the clueless, and especially the clueless that are frustrated, why did he give Joel Lewicki some words today? I don't think they're anything that's going to break it loose.
Right.
The clueless, he keeps them going. He motivates them. Why did he invite Seattle Sullivan to his house at Christmas?
Yeah.
Was it because he's like so connected with Seattle Sullivan? No, I think he knew he would be impactful in his life. And I think Forrest knew I was struggling at a time. So when he does things like, is that in the Rockies? Or can you tip your toe in it?
Right.
It nudges, but it's not going to break it loose in any significant way. And I think he also might understand that it is not the perfect thing for this chase, for him to interact with lots of people, but that's what he wants. That is his specialness. He wants to give back to the community by meeting so many people. Like after you've been secretly recorded, would you just say, I'm done with this? Many people would, but he genuinely likes people.
Yeah, he's a nice person. He interacts with the searchers. He doesn't say, the chest is out there, go find it, and I'm never going to talk to anybody. Craig Carter has got a good point. He said he will not give anyone a clue that would get them closer to the treasure. Remember when he came out and said to level the playing field where warm waters halt is not associated with a dam? Remember he came out and said that. He said that apparently to somebody in an email or something. So he came out and said to level the playing field, I'm going to let everybody know. But that doesn't get you closer to the treasure chest. That just means for all the people that thought it was a dam, they were incorrect. They weren't anywhere on the right path. So when he says, did you dip your toe in it, all that means is what, and somebody else posted, it's common sense. It's water. Where warm waters halt is water, everybody, and it's warm. If you don't believe that, I'm going to get it on a shirt. You're wrong. I'm going to go to the mall and just say you're wrong on a shirt.
You know what? And the wrong should be R-O-N-G because you could be wrong too. So it's a double wrong.
And because imagination is more important than knowledge. Don't take that the wrong way, everybody. I mean, Cowlazars said I'm wrong. It's a fun thing to do, although I really do believe you are wrong. But like I say, stay home in your underwear and play Chase-opoly if you don't believe that the first clue is warm waters halt and the last clue is the blaze. Because in my and Kpro's opinion, it is. And if you realize that, it will help your boots on the ground. It will help where you look.
So here's what Craig Carter said. Did Forrest asking you if you dipped your toe in it get you any closer to the treasure? No, today, the last 2 days, the audios, that was my breakthrough. The last 2 days of audios have made me refocus. And it did help me hang on because you have to hang on through the rough times of this chase. And over 4 or 5 years, 3, 4, 5, however many years, and different solves. The hardest thing is when you don't have a love solve. That Joel is going through what I went through last fall. Do I quit? Do I not? That's what he's going through, and I don't think it helps significantly. It helps searchers hang on. That's it. That's all. That's it.
So let me ask you this. This is just Tom Sawyer just said, I'll take knowledge of the chest location over imagination of the chest location any day. Okay, I get that. But what if it's the imagination part that you have to figure out what the clues mean to lead you to the chest? Case in point, put in below the home of Brown. If we're going along, we find Warm Waters Halt, we're going along the canyon, and I see Big Ben Trail. Who was Big Ben? Do I have that right? Do you know who Big Ben? Have you ever heard of the term Big Ben? Wasn't Big Ben a bear in the movies? Wasn't that a bear from back in the day called Big Ben? Would that then be a home of Brown because he was a brown bear? I mean, could it be? That might be the imagination part. But then people could say that's specialized knowledge.
Could be Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, exactly. What if it's Smokey, Route, Smokey, whatever, and you go, oh, that's the home of Brown, meaning there's a word that's on a trail or a road or a mile marker or something where you go, oh, that's the imagination. That's home of Brown. I'm going to turn here. That type thing. Too far to walk could mean that. Never, the end is ever drawing nigh. Home of Brown. All those things could be imagination that you have to use when you're out there to realize what they mean. Maybe.
Well, and Craig Hodder says Forrest loves to razz the PhDs in my mind. Here's the interesting thing. He said one of them's brilliant. That's why I'd like to sit down with Michael, because I obviously have a very different relationship than Michael does. For him to say he's brilliant, there is something special there.
Michael Hool. So they don't think you're talking about me. You said Michael, so they don't think you're talking about me. Michael Hool.
Michael Hool.
Yeah, right. Thought Big Ben was the clock tower in London. Yeah, you're probably right.
Vicki, so let me make, it says the water is freezing. That's why he asked you if you dipped your toes in it. No, he asked me first, was it warm? And then he asked me, did you tip your toe in it? I said, like, warm to the touch. Yeah. And then he said, yeah, can you tip your toe in it?
But she's saying where you were at, the water was freezing. So I think that's why he said, did you tip your toe in it to see if it's warm? You know what I mean? It wasn't warm, so you were in the wrong spot.
Mine wasn't even water.
I'm thinking of Grizzly Adams. You guys remember the old show Grizzly Adams? I thought there was a bear that called Ben in that, but I mean, I could be totally wrong. Yeah.
Oh, Minotaur Reno says, is it true that there is a secret hint in your Chase-opoly game that you really believe it's in Colorado?
No comment.
No comment.
No comment. Okay. You got to get Chase-opoly to get it. So, all right. Do we want to transition into other things?
I did not ask for a crutch. I asked for a state to be ruled out. I think it would be really cool if a state was ruled out. And I just thought it would be fun to say, hey, Forrest, what's it going to take to rule out a state? And I even thought that for the Jamie drawing. When we were really trying to push at the end for more, I said, what if everybody would contribute? If you just $5 per person, if you said, I'll rule out a search state, we could have gotten more money. And that's when he said, quit it with the crutch, which backs me off. We kind of have that relationship. That's okay. So.
I don't know where you're going with that, Alan K. I think I understand the gist, but you spelled something wrong there because I don't understand what you mean. But I think I get the gist of what you're saying. Almost never talks about Colorado. So, yeah, that's right. Maybe that means it's there. Sure. It's possible.
That's true.
Somebody asked why a capital B if it is referring to brown trout. Now, haven't people said that Forrest is capitalized brown and brown trout in other writings, like other books? I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. Why would it be a capital B if it is brown trout? I don't know.
Rick Plank, mine was, I believe it was dip. It was oral, like it was audio. I don't have that audio anymore. Actually, I might have it back in an email because I got it a couple hours before the search community did. So lots of people have it. It was posted on a certain person's Facebook page the other day. So I'm sure somebody in the room maybe be able to answer that because some people save that audio. So there.
And Barbara Anderson, come on the show and tell us what we missed. You can dip your toe in your sock too. What? I gotcha.
Yeah, that we'll talk about that later, but I've already hit timeout several times, so I'll hit timeout again.
And Czar's got a good point. If we're looking for where warm waters halt, are we supposed to be looking for cold water? But in order to find the cold water, you have to know where the warm water is. So I understand what you're saying, Czar, but you have to put your toe in the warm water to say, oh, that is warm. Now, where does it halt? And that's a good point. That's a good point.
We've gone back and forth on this one, I'll just say. And Tony Russi saying PhDs need a state. No, wouldn't it be cool if you ruled out a state? I think everybody could have fun with that, but it wouldn't get us any closer. That was my
Right.
point, is it wouldn't get us any closer.
And
So
Lisa,
I wanted,
go ahead.
what is this?
No,
What
Lisa
is this?
Smith, thank you. She says Grizzly Adams Bear was named Ben, 1974 movie. I think I remember that movie from when I was a kid. But of course, that would be specialized knowledge. Kpro's not going to know that. So if she sees,
I'm not even born
if
then.
she sees Ben Trail, she's not going to realize that could be the Home of Brown. But I knew there was a bear named Ben. But my point was, Home of Brown could be a play on something that you would know when you see it. I don't know. Maybe. It's a maybe. That's right.
Maybe. I don't know about this stuff.
What's a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet? R.
R.
Yeah, like Cowlazars. Right.
That's
Okay.
like that's a dad joke. That
And
one.
big. Why does 687? Because 789. Yes, Big Ben is a clock. I realize that too. Do you still have any posters of the poem left? I will be in Vegas next weekend and we'll have to pick one up. Roger Garcia, I have the benchmark Too Far to Walk map, if that's what you're talking about. So yeah, email me, cowlazars@gmail.com, and for sure, if you want to buy one, I'll meet you and give you the map. Somebody just bought one today, so they are for sale, guys.
Well, and I told John Bobbitt in I was as ornery as Mike is tonight. I was that in AGK's chat room last night. And I told John Bobbitt, I'm going to be in town, not this weekend, but next weekend. And we're coming to his house and we're going to go all through his house and look for the
I
treasure
should
chest.
vlog it. Should we try and vlog it at Bobbitt's house so I can show you guys? And Czar says, you'd think so about R being the pirate letter, but it's C. Get it? The C, letter C. Colorado, C.
Okay, Dad jokes.
That's
Okay,
pretty good.
we
but
had
it's a
some other
C,
things
yeah.
to go. Okay, so we've gone almost 2 hours. My Lord, what happened here?
Yeah, thank you for the super chats, and also thank you for
Yeah.
everybody that joined us today. Every single person. We had over 250 people figuring out what those Forrest Fenn clues are with us. So thank you for joining. Please thumbs up the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And now we're going to talk about some other things we got going on that are Chase related.
Oh, Alan, I have such an answer for that, so we're going to save it to the next time.
He did say that, Alan. Yes, that's right.
And yes.
Good one, Dave Calvi. It's I. I like it.
Oh, you guys are killing me. Okay, so here is some things that were that we need to go over from the last marathon, and these are all like if you're into only content related, you drop off now. If you're into some of the marathon stuff we did and contests and those sorts of things, stick around for a minute.
We got some cool things. You might want to stick around. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So Raleigh meetup this Saturday, 2 o'clock, Cary on Walnut Street, the Red Robin. Young.
Red Robin, all right.
Yes.
Are you
someone
gonna
asked.
Take some pictures for the vlog or no?
I will take some pictures.
Okay.
I will ask. I found out from another searcher he's bringing his kids. I'm going to bring my kids. The only thing I'd ask.
Oh, cool.
I would hope you guys would don't take pictures of my kids and share them, please. But we are going to, so it'll be both we'll be in the bar part. We'll put them in the restaurant part. I think that would be super fun. So the next thing is boots on the ground or bust. Michael, can you bring it up?
Yeah.
So if you remember, there were 8 searchers that decided to be brave enough to come on for 10-15 minutes and talk about their solve. We are putting a coin up on auctioning off a coin, and the proceeds less fees go to that.
I'm showing the coin right now. This is coin number 33, 2019 searcher coin number 33. It ends Saturday at 10:52 a.m. It's at $103. And again, whatever this bid is, the person that wins, and we're going to tell everybody how you can vote, will get the proceeds from this coin minus fees. So I'll bring up Hint of Riches. Go ahead.
So there's a little bit of a joke on Hint of Riches. Every time we have a poll, Hint of Riches, usually it's like we never can agree. If we said if WWWH is the first clue, it'd be 50-50. So know right now, if you register and vote, it is within 1 or 2 votes. It's really split.
And
so remember,
when's voting cut off? When's voting cut off?
Sunday night for
Sunday night.
a Monday announcement. So it'll be Sunday night, probably 6 o'clock is when I will close the poll. So do it now, do it early. We have, I think, 25 or 30 votes already, but hopefully we'll have more than that coming up.
I'm showing it right now. So if you go to hintofriches.com and register, it's called Boots on the Ground or Bust, vote here. If you click these links, it will take you to the marathon we did that just shows their part where they described who they are, how many boots on the grounds, what would they do with the money. And then once you watch these, you can go here and vote. So you can see right now we do have Mike N is in the lead with 7 votes. Oh wait, it's a tie. Renegade has 7 votes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point. So, and 1 or 2 votes can change the game. So just get up there and vote. And hopefully it won't be the last day. Usually a couple people save their vote for the last day and push somebody over the line. But hopefully it doesn't come down to 1 vote, but it could come down to 1 vote. So please vote. Please get out there and vote.
Watch the videos and say, hey, this guy's, it might only be $100. I hope that coin auction jumps on Saturday before it ends. And I'm going to show the coin. I'm going to post a link if you want to bid on the coin to help out a searcher, because they are going to get the money, guys. We're going to take the 10% off that eBay charges and they get the rest of the money. So there is the link to the eBay auction. Okay.
I think the people on the Thor site can't see something. I don't know what that means. So Afro Merc says, I think the people on the Thor site can't see the is. And I don't know what that
email
means.
Kpro if there's an issue and you can't vote. I mean, email Kpro. You email me, Cowlazars@gmail.com.
No, email me. I'm the Thor lead, so I manage Thor. We have leads. We have leads on things. It's his Facebook.
And I manage everything else. She didn't like that. All right, we have something else on eBay. What else do we have
I
on
will
eBay?
say, I'm going to comment to this just because we're getting in as well. Milan, you asked to be put to a banned status. If you want back on, just register. Just go back on
use a different
and
name,
register.
right?
If anyone asks to be banned, they are banned. I don't go back and forth and play all the shenanigans. I just go.
I don't understand why somebody would ask to be banned. Just don't go on the site no more.
I just don't activate. I don't move it to unactive or anything. I just hit ban. But anybody can get back on. That's no. So okay. So you said you would if you could. So you can. He's just saying no thing. So shenanigans. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
The story evolves. Okay. So the next is the person that won during the Chase-opoly part is Michael Harrington. You have until Monday to tell us if you contact Mike. So
if you guys remember during the marathon, there was a 30-minute part where anybody that commented in the chat room, we drew your name at the end of the marathon. It was Michael Harrington.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So email me. I don't have your email address. I mean, you
have until Monday.
Yeah.
Then it goes right back in the kitty.
Okay.
Okay.
So breaking news. You ready? Breaking news. I didn't mean to cut you off, but on eBay, somebody has listed coin number 22. This is Forrest Fenn.
The copper one?
Yes, the copper one. I don't know who this is. This is not our auction, everybody. I'm just letting you know. It's at $9.99 with 1 bid, and it's going to end Thursday during the show. No, there is no show Thursday, but we'll talk about that. It's going to end Thursday next week. So if you're looking for a low-numbered coin, 22 is pretty awesome to have, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Why is that not coming up right? Okay, sorry. I just saw it as I was happened to be scrolling through.
The last one from the marathon
not our auction.
is... The next one for the marathon is Jens came on. He was looking for boots on the ground footage, and we said everybody that emailed or gave him footage, we would put into a raffle and give them a searcher coin. Jens, there's a couple things we should have clarified. One of them being that does not mean Mike and I were going to see the boots on the ground footage to try to secretly figure out your location. A couple searchers, and I will say he's trying to make everybody happy. There's only a couple searchers, but they made it really difficult on him. So we have the agreement now is Jens is going to do a raffle with something with him. They thought we were like buying him with this coin. It wasn't anything that was factual, but we appreciate that Jens is just trying to make things settle down, and we're sorry that things got so sensitive.
There's a couple 3-year-olds in the chase. I'm going to say it. I'm sorry, but I got to say it. There's a couple 3-year-olds that everything has to be about them. And when it's not about them, all they do is cry. That's all I'm going to say. So we are no longer donating a coin for this boots on the ground. And I hate to break it to everybody, but I don't want to see your boots on the ground footage. I'm not going to sit there and watch
because
somebody's...
you're wrong.
Yeah, that's right. So, okay, sorry. I just had to say that.
Yeah, but the thing for Jens, we don't want any drama or any issues. And I warned him kind of up front. He didn't realize the depth and the situation,
he
the
found
true
out
situation.
real quick, didn't
He did, and so he's trying to make it okay. And so he is going to do, so if you have sent him boots on the ground footage, he will let you know. He's going to put it up on Vimeo or somewhere else. I don't know. And quite honestly, I don't care. We were trying to help out, and he's so appreciative that we tried to help out. He knows what our intent was. Just a couple people are really, really, he's spending too many. Again, just a few, but he's spending so much time just with the few that he said, let's just thank you so much for that.
And Alan Kay, it's nothing against Jens at all. It's just he had
awesome.
certain people coming at him a certain way, and he called us and said, what is this all about? And we just said, yeah, that's how things work in the Chase because of certain people. So that's all we're going to say. But there will be not our coin.
Neutral.
No coin from us. Okay.
He just wants to be neutral, and that's all.
He just wants to do a documentary. That's all he wants to do.
Right.
Support
But he
his
needs boots on the ground. He needs boots on the ground footage. Help him. Hopefully, whatever he decides, he works with them to make sure they're okay with it, to just make the conflict part go away. We didn't even know there was an issue. They contacted him, which is great. So let's just settle things.
How there can be an issue and we're giving away a coin for free, but whatever.
Because we're buying their super secret location, which they've been to so many times and they don't have the treasure chest. Anyway, let's move on. So that coin will get back in the kitty for something else that we will do in the future. So that's.
Speaking of coins, Chase-opoly's on eBay, everybody. If you didn't watch the marathon, and you don't know, we ordered 2 games from China because we wanted to see what the quality's like. These are from the manufacturer. I had opened one to check the quality. This one is still in the plastic. This is on eBay. This ends Saturday at 10:40 a.m. This is some pictures still in the plastic, direct from the manufacturer. Here's a cool thing. Go home and play canasta. Here's a cool thing. Those are the pieces, guys. Custom pewter pieces. We got a backpack for boots on the ground. We got a fish for fly fishing. We've got a cowboy hat. What? I'm not looking at the chat.
Minotaur Marina says it's a fair ambassador. I will gladly accept the number coin for free. I love it.
Cowboy hat for Forrest, cowboy hat. A pickup truck for the redneck with 12 kids. A cow for Bessie the cow, and a frog for the frog in the chest. Here's the money. They are all the lead searchers. Those are personality types, guys. There you go, all the items and the thing. You've got the rules. But here's the cool part. Whoever wins this auction, absolutely free, you're going to get 2019 numbered coin number 9. We wanted to add that in as a thank you. Right now it's at $300. It ends Saturday at 10:40 a.m. And the cool part is whoever wins that auction, I'm going to mail it next week, Monday. So you will be the first person to actually get the Chase-opoly in the mail and the numbered coin. The Grand Adventure will not be in that game because it wouldn't be fair if you got it before everybody else. Whoever wins that auction, I will send you the treasure hunt, the Grand Adventure, when everybody else gets their games if you want me to. But you got to tell me that you're interested in that and you want it. The auction is just for the game, just for the numbered coin.
And people have been guessing, why did you pick number 9? If you don't know why number 9 is important in this hunt, you need to play Chase-opoly and canasta. It's like the conspiracy theories are crazy. It's number. We picked number 9 because there's 9 clues.
9 clues.
Like 9 clues. It's like I want to say. Simplify. There's not a boogeyman around every corner. 9 goes with it.
And when somebody asked before, are there any hints in Chase-opoly? There are hints in Chase-opoly. The clues are in Chase-opoly because we have in the game the things Forrest has said over the years. So. And
the poem. Let's say it like he does about TTO2C. The poem is in Chase-opoly.
That's right. Okay. All right. What else we got? Because I'm going to see the Joker tonight. What else we got?
That's exciting.
I don't know what time, but I got to catch one of them.
That is it. That is all we have to say on this subject. We said a lot tonight. We had a lot of fun tonight. And this is...
Boots on the ground or bust. Go vote on a hint of riches.
Yes, please.
Chase-opoly is on eBay. The coin number 33 is on eBay, and that person that wins the vote on Thor is going to get the proceeds minus 10%. Thought there was something else. World Series of Fenn is February 15th next year, everybody. So if you can make it out for February 15th, we're going to have the poker tournament. We'll have details on that. The Raleigh meetup is this Saturday at Ruby Tuesdays? No, Red Robin.
Red Robin.
Yum. Yeah, Red Robin. Okay. Red Robin. Go meet Kpro and her kids. Be nice to her kids or they'll kill you. Or Kpro will kill you.
Oh, no, I will.
Yeah. But take some pictures for the people that are okay, and we'll show them in the vlog. No show Thursday of next week because Kpro is coming out here to Las Vegas, but I'm sure we will go live at some time over the weekend, and that's why you should be subscribed to the channel. A lot of people watch this because they just click the link on Facebook and they're on their phone, and when you go to hit subscribe, it says you have to log in, and I don't think a lot of people understand what you have to do. If you have a Gmail account, all you have to do is log in with that Gmail account and password. That is your YouTube account. And then you can hit subscribe, and you can hit that little bell, and you'll be notified whenever we go live. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I wanted to make one other comment to drama not related to me, but a lot of people have asked. So here's my thoughts on AGK,
AGK,
what
okay.
some people are saying drama. So here is what many people ask me, what's the secret society? So here's what's happened. AGK put out an announcement yesterday, and I did not know about it. I heard it like you guys did, and said what they're going to be doing is Wednesday after their show and Friday after their show, they're going to go into a private Zoom for members, and the members are they put a document together. They're going to do like a TTOTC book review. They've put a resource together of a 155-page document, I think. They are going to have all their pictures and community stuff in a private area that if you pay $25 a month, you can subscribe and be a part of that. So a lot of people ask me what I thought. I will give you a couple of thoughts. First, this is not the first tuber to say you must be a member and come get my stuff behind a wall that you must pay a monthly membership fee. There is another tuber, another big tuber that did the same thing. I don't think, this is my opinion. I don't know if either is going to be successful, especially $25 a month. That seems, I would not participate. It seems a little hefty, but I know what great content they do, as in facilitating and seeing things differently. So I want to wish them the best of luck, but this is the perfect thing that I say that I tell people to do with us. It's okay because you're doing something that I wouldn't necessarily be a part of, but this is America, free market. You're able to try it. Yeah. The market will respond. The market will say whether you should or shouldn't do it by participation or not participation. That's the same thing I think about the coins, the maps that were sold, mouse pads that were sold, the Chase-opoly that was sold, the auctions that were done, there's some, and somebody is up on Facebook saying about different buckets, and there's different buckets. Some just say, hey, I need it for my bills. I can't make my bills. Some people say do a fundraiser for St. Jude. There's all these different buckets. You get to decide with your money where you want to put it. So I personally am not going to participate in this one. It's just a little too hefty. I might have if it was $5 or $10. Yeah, if it was $5 or $10.
$600, everybody. This costs $600. So I better learn how to use it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in general, I will just say this is something that I want to make sure that the AGK team knows that I support them in trying something new. They've tried a lot of things new. I personally, it's a little too steep for me, and I think a little too steep for others in the community. And so I wish it was a little less, because then I would have been in this dilemma of whether I do it or not, and more time and all of that to the chase. So again,
do you know when that starts with AGK? When are they going to start that? Do we know?
I don't remember. So, I just know the room went a little crazy last night.
And I'll put this out there: when they do start it, and if one of our viewers is one of the people that pay the $25 and they're in the Zoom session, I'd like you to come on our show and just say, worth it or not worth it. I'm not telling you, I'm not asking you to say what was discussed, because people are paying for that. I just like you to come on and just say, yeah, it's really worth it, anybody, if you're interested. Or if, be honest, yeah, I don't think it was worth it. And, if you want to, I'm just putting that out there. Come on the show and give us your opinion if you do pay the money. Yeah. And once you see a couple times in a row, a couple weeks in a row, is it going to be twice a week they're going to do this?
Yeah, it's after the Wednesday show and after the Friday show is how I think about it. And Sassy said next week. And Sassy said in the room last night, what if we got our own together for kind of that from a free content? I'm willing. Sassy and I don't think Mike wants any more additional nights.
We need a ladies panel. Maybe a weekly ladies panel. Maybe.
Yeah. So that could be fun. So
I was just going to say 8 times a month. That's less than for $25 is less than $5 a session. You know what I mean? So it's $3 for every week. You're paying $3 to go into Zoom with Toby and Shelly and to be able to ask them questions directly and all that. Everybody's got to make their own decision, but I don't have a problem with it. Minotaur Moreno sold his PDF for $25. That's people do what they want to do. Yeah.
Right. So again, I don't think I will on this one. When you put it like that, maybe, but I don't think I will on this one just because of the time commitment. That's a bigger thing for me. But I do have to say, and this is one thing I really want to emphasize, AGK, when they do content, they do a lot of research and they are very professional in their delivery. If they are charging they are going to bring, it's not going to just be willy-nilly, let's just come and have some people chime in. They will really prepare. So if anybody's going to give you value for that $25, I believe it will be that. That's just my opinion.
Silver Fox says they should include a copy of the fishing regulations with that membership. I'll just put it out there, Toby. If you watch this all the way to the end, maybe somebody will tell them to watch this part. Instead of $25 for the month, I think you should charge per episode. What if it's $3 for Monday to come into Zoom? A one-time
I don't think
thing.
I don't think it's only that. I think it's that plus their resource pages.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so I don't know
there's a bunch
the
of other
details.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know, like
the-
AGK, all the different chats are much like Thor to you. You only have so much time in a day.
I'm going to be learning the soundboard for the next 2 weeks, so that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yes.
Chase-opoly. Here's the other thing. We believe we will have all the Chase-opoly games by mid-November. 5 or 6 weeks. We don't have that's an estimate. We don't have an actual. What's wrong?
You can't say that.
Why? I said I believe it's an estimate. People
Okay.
want updates. What?
I know, but it makes me
But
nervous
that
when
means,
you say it.
well, if it's delayed, then I will tell everybody it's delayed. It's coming on a slow boat from China. Literally a slow boat from China. But that means you would get them in time for Christmas, which I think is important because there really would be really cool gifts for the kids and the significant others and all that other stuff. Okay.
Yeah. But we do believe it, but don't repeat elsewhere. Oh, it's going to be in time for Christmas. We think it is.
We hope
The
that's
timing looks really
the
good.
latest we've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, we heard today, which is awesome. So this is super, super exciting.
Craig Carter says Shelley created a book and you have to do homework each week. Well, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which is super fun.
Yeah,
So,
Lisa, if you guys have ideas for Toby, email him at AGK. Email him with your different ideas. Maybe he'll change it. I don't know. In other words, we're not going to change his mind. I just thought I'd throw it out there. That's all.
Holly wants to know if her dog ate her homework. Does she get into trouble?
Yeah.
These are questions for AGK. So anyway.
Honeybee says maybe the chase will end before the show bee, Toby and Shelley, show bee, I like that, before the show bee show starts. Possible, but I doubt it. To me, the search season has ended. I know Cynthia's up there, but I think she's a little bit a seasoned boots on the ground searcher. I think most people should probably stay home and play canasta until next year when the spring thaw happens and we all get back out there. But that's just me. All right. Anything else?
I don't think she got to her final spot. So another trip wasted.
But the
Cynthia.
Facebook, Forrest Fenn's Grand Adventure. I posted Cynthia's video when she was with, I can't remember the other girl's name.
Sandy?
Yeah, that was funny. Did you see her with the skull? She had the horns and she had the skull. That was a pretty funny video. So check that out. It's in Forrest Fenn's
Sandy,
Grand Adventure on Facebook.
You know that we met Sandy.
Yeah, I know who she is. I just can't remember her name. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, she said she went with Sandy, and I was like, oh, who's Sandy? And then when I saw her again, I'm like, oh, that's Sandy. I met Sandy at the,
Coffee with Forrest. Now there's an idea. Yeah, it's called the Collected Works Bookstore. You go get a coffee and you hope he walks in to sign books. That's how I met him for the first time. Yeah, and he does.
He does.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will be as lucky as you as, hey, Mike, jump in my car. We'll meet Kpro at my house.
Right.
And Mike is texting me, I'm in Forrest's car. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, he's driving me to his house. I'm like, what?
I was like, Forrest, who are you here with? I expected to see Shiloh. He's like, nobody. I drove here. I'm like, oh, okay, let's go. So, yeah, that was interesting. Some of the other numbered coins, there is going to be some more of the scavenger hunts where we're going to hide a proxy item. We will do more of those. We're trying to come up with different ideas, though, on what to do with the rest of the coins. So stay tuned. You guys will see it. Anybody that orders Chase-opoly between now and Veterans Day will get a non-numbered coin, just so you know. Yep. And 3 of those lucky people randomly are going to get 3 numbered coins, 8, 22, and 30. And you'll have to open your Chase-opoly and find out if you're the lucky one to get it. It'll be like Willy Wonka's golden ticket. Yeah.
It will be awesome. Yeah. So, okay. Any final questions? Because Mike has a movie to go to, and I'm going to sleep. Actually, I have a little boy that's not feeling too well, and so he actually conked out, and I want to go check on that little guy and make sure. I might be staying home tomorrow if my kiddo is sick. But again, did everybody see this? Isn't Mike the coolest boyfriend ever on the planet? Did you see that?
It was just to say hi and I miss you.
Yes,
I know,
it was.
Yeah, that's all.
And I got it as a surprise when I walked up to my house. It was like, oh, that was just wonderful surprises. Thank you, Mike.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I think it was a good show. I think it's really interesting to just talk out the clues and what they could be. If you don't agree, you're wrong, but that's okay. It's okay if you don't agree. Doesn't just because you're wrong doesn't mean I'm right. That's right. All right. And I will end. Anything you want to say before we go?
I love what you just said though. Just because you're wrong doesn't mean I'm right.
That's
I like
true.
that. That might be my new slogan.
And I will just say as we sign off, positivity always triumphs over negativity. All right, everybody. We will see you all on Monday.